One thing, is there like a sort of like well, I mean, Sorry.
Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen, to week 3 of Balance League. This is Demise with you, and I should be accompanied by Jeff in any second now. We are gonna start week 4 with Blue Moon's Badger against Fireflies.
Right, by any seconds, you should mean now. Hello, everyone. This is Jeff as well. I will be on the play-by-play today, and accompanied by Demise, who would be doing the color casting for you guys. And yes, this is gonna be the match between Blue Moon Badgers and Fireflies. Still fighting for the standing as well. Every match matters, as we are here going into the pick and ban. Wait.
Okay, so like the meta, they just instantly ban Agora's Swain. He's been spamming that lately in solo queue. So I think it's gonna just come down to like comfort bans on both ends. Because like the OP stuff are really basic, like Tom Kench, Yorick, Dorelia, like Viego maybe. Like all of these stuff are really simple to play. So it will depend. And yeah, you can see in Java, just like you're gonna ban comfort stuff and simple stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We're doing everyone here is like around Gold 3, Plat 4 sort of level. We're not doing any kinds of professional, draft, team comp, stuff like that. It's all gonna be comfort. It's all gonna be what you are good at playing champions. So OP.GG, I believe both of these teams is gonna study them beforehand as well. And knowing which players are comfortable on which champion. You see the Vladimir bending away as well. I believe this is a very good comfort champion here on the side of Vaniful. On the side of Vaniful, excuse me. Yeah. So bending away that, targeting the enemy mid laner, and this is just a very, very terrifying late game scaling team fight champion that you will be able to get rid of.
Indeed, but like with Vladimir, it always comes the option of just running a hard early game counter matchup, and instead it just locks into Kai'Sa. And Kai'Sa signals a lot of things. It signals that you either want to play for like a good lane and then scale into a good team fight comp, or that you're giving yourself multiple options. Because Kai'Sa, after all, like she can play front to back, she can play with dive, but she struggles a bit if you're gonna like hyper scale, because she struggles against a lot of hyper carries, like past 3-4 items. And the response is Senna.
Yeah, speaking of these late game scaling, Senna, you always have the option of collecting those souls, all the way into the infinite scaling factor is always gonna be there. And yeah, this is one of the very most played champion here for the side of Shenzhen, the AD carry for Blue Moon Badgers as well, as the Viego would be locked in on the first rotation. So very, very strong champion. Have that ability to flex between, I believe, jungle and top now. So we will be seeing how this is gonna develop. This comp is gonna develop for Blue Moon Badgers. But here, hovering the Hecarim will be locked in as well. So you would think this is the jungle, going to the jungle position. And yeah, this has been a bit of a changes for the Hecarim from a while ago. The sort of chem tank, the chem tank sort of tank build Hecarim. Now I believe it's a lot of sort of one shot Hecarim coming out here. It is not exactly the most popular champion here on Pro Play, but we are certainly gonna see how Danktroid here, the jungler, is gonna pilot this champion.
And Victor is locked in from Vanifel, and that indicates that they want to stand their ground, because you can see like FireFlies are just opted in for a full team fight comp with the Hecarim and the Leona. They just want to go in. They want to use the Hunter instincts from Kai'Sa and just like go in and get a pick or get like a clean team fight or get a clean initiation. But it seems like Blue Moon Badgers are just like willing to say, hey, like we'll outrange you, and even when you come into range, we have the Viego, we have the Victor, so we can stand our ground against you. And
Yeah,
eventually they will eventually the Viego and the Victor will outscale the Hecarim and the Kaisa.
exactly. I mean, Victor and Vladimir, I believe, it is two most played champion here for the set of Vanderfall. So he would definitely be on a comfort pick. And yeah, Victor doesn't really have a lot of mobility, I suppose, but with the gravity field, with a lot of kiting tools available to his kit, definitely gonna see how he would be matching up towards this very dive heavy comp. As the last band coming out is the Shen from the Blue Moon Badger. I believe this is another sort of comfort champion here for the side of FireFlies top laner. And just, yeah, banning that away, you have the Hecarim Shen combo, where you dives in with Onslaught of Shadow and the Stand United on top of you. Have a lot of potency, so banning that away definitely makes sense as well.
And you can see like they're pinching each other's remaining positions because they want to make sure that the Senna either ends up as an 80 carry with the bands of Thresh, or that she doesn't have any mobility, or the fact that if they're gonna pick an 80 carry, now Senna is relegated to support. And the same thing on like Blue Moons, they bench in top laners with both the Gwen and the Shen. And the Tahm Kench is really oppressive in this current patch. And it's really strong, and it's gotten through phase 2. And whoever is going to be in the top lane is going to have a really hard time standing his ground against him.
Yeah, the good old I mean, if we are several patches ago, this is the certified Santa Tahm Kench bot lane. But here, with all the changes that has gone through, with all the rework on Mr. Thomas Kench, it can still be flexed on the top lane. We're not sure yet, as FireFlies here look to round up their comp. The Karma locked in, you would believe, is going to the mid lane. So a bit of a, again, speeding up the Hecarim, speeding up these power ponies. Just heavy dive onto the back line. Not gonna offer nearly as much as damage as the Victor are in these team fights, but here the last pick, Camille, like we said, dive, and dive all onto the back line, all access, dives onto these Victors, these Sennas. So yeah, Tahm Kench would have a lot of value, you would see, and we are very excited to see how this game is gonna play out.
And as you can see, like right now, they have the option of either putting Tahm Kench in top lane and putting a really good favorable bot lane, or just keeping the Tahm Kench support. And they do pick the set, and now set is having a really favorable matchup against Camille. And this is gonna like struggle a lot for FireFlies if they are unable to like contain the lanings, because like a lot of these lanes are winning lanes for Blue Moon Badgers.
Yeah, when you have that late game scaling factor and winning lanes, that doesn't really spell anything good for the side of FireFlies. But yeah, do sort of keep us updated, because I'm not really sure how the sort of rework affected Tahm Kench as a support in the bot lane. So what are your thoughts on sort of Tahm Kench still being played as a support here?
Well, since the Senna is most likely going to be fasting for the Tahm Kench, he's still going to have a lot of potency in the form of the gold that values a lot more now with his kit. But the fact is, Tom still needs a lot of levels of the rework, because the way that he now has healing in his queue, and the fact that Devour is his ultimate, he needs a lot of levels to be able to like stand up to a lot of the current top and mid laners and junglers. So he may lose a lot of potency just in the form of levels, but when it comes to the 2v2, Tahm Kench should be really strong in the case of just the 2v2. And if they get the Tom ahead enough to the point where he just buys an anathema against the Kaisa, suddenly he's an unkillable demon beast, as like Tahm Kench would want to be.
And
But yeah,
yeah,
like
go for it.
well, like you can see, like Camille and like Hecarim, this is like the comp of like FireFlies is really dependent on getting a lot of like early stuff, because like if they're not ahead like by the first or second dragon, if like they don't have both and have like a 4 or 5k gold lead, they're suddenly doomed. Viego will take over. Sets will have a lot of value as a disengage against the Hecarim or the Camille. Like it just looks scary for FireFlies if they can get ahead enough in the early game.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about these early comps versus the late game scaling comp, and throughout professional plays, I suppose, where wherever you sort of see, talk to people, working on a scene, we always sort of have a slight tendency to favor these late game scaling because you always have that sort of safety. You always have that insurance. You know, even if you get behind early game, you can always stall out the game, wave clear. We're talking about Victor's champion like that. And yeah, for the early game comps, if something doesn't go exactly in your way, it is very hard to get back into the game. That being said, a lot of early game proactivities you can look for. Hakurim still a very strong ganker. The clear I believe still is very good as well compared to the Viego. So yeah, definitely gonna look if Fireflies can remain proactive. It can look for these plays in the early game to snowball slowly and put pressure on the enemy team, not letting them just freely scaling into 30-minute into these 5v5 team fights. Because if should that happen, my money is definitely on the side of Blue Moon Badgers.
Indeed, but like you can see the way that like Fireflies is drafting. I don't think they're gonna go for like 2v2 mid jungle fights. They're gonna take like the mid jungle and send them to one of the side lanes. And like if suddenly you have a Karma enhanced Hecarim in like a 4v2 or a 4v3 in bot lane, that is really dangerous for like Bloom and Badgers. But if they can survive the early like roam packs that Fireflies should look for, it should be smooth sailing for Blue Moons.
Yeah, as here we are getting into the game, a bit of a spectator delay we're waiting for, but finally, I believe 10 champions and 2 of our casters, I suppose, are hitting the Summoner's Rift, and we are so excited to see this play out. So, this is I've credit to I think one of my favorite casters, Captain Flower, because this is something that he loves to do. So, Demise, I'm gonna ask you just for some predictions. First Blood, who's gonna take on who?
What? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, First
Just
Blood. Yeah, First Blood. Yeah, I got. Okay. So I think that the First Blood is either gonna be a bot lane or in a scuttle skirmish around bot lane.
right. Okay. Yeah, you do have the Leona. You do have these a lot of skirmishing power, I suppose, in an early game as well. We can see. I mean, as casters, as spectators, we want this game to be an absolute fiesta. Let's be honest. Let's get like 2 kills per minute, 1 kill per minute. We want some blood, we want some fight, and we want some skirmishes. So yeah, we will see how these two teams play out.
Yeah, we might want that, but I doubt that they do want that as well. So.
I'm at
my clan
30.
crashed. My clan crashed. I'm fucking doomed. Jeff, can you stream the game? Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm in right now. Okay, I'm at 10. Yep.
Okay, I'm at 10 as well. I'm at 10. Are we 2, 1, go.
And we're live back at you, ladies and gentlemen. Fireflies against Blue Moons in game 1. And as you can see, there doesn't seem to be any sort of invade on either side. They seem to be like taking it pretty safely.
Yeah, not a lot of level 1 shenanigans happening. And yeah, we'll be just guarding these entrances, making sure the other team is not up for something very cheeky. And a bit of a dance party here in mid lane. If you are from the UK, you would know the. Well, agree or not, we are having a lot of party recently, so they're just jumping the vibe here, moving in on the bottom side river. Just want to get some vision as well. The ward will be spotting out the enemy chickens, so we'll be having that information as to where the junglers are pathing.
Indeed, and you can see the Viego's apparently gonna start red, and the Hecarim's gonna start red as well. So they're gonna meet at opposite sides. So it's either gonna be a skull trade, which is probably going to be the likely outcome. And then the ganks will come either mid or side lanes, or one of them will just go full clear and recall. And in the case of Hecarim, I think Hecarim is one of the junglers that like to full clear. And Viego's first clear can be good. He can find opportunistic ganks, but in the case of the Blue Moons, I don't think they want coin flips early on in the game.
Yeah, you can see a lot of wars from the Blue Moon Badgers drop down onto the enemy jungle. So you have to respect, you have to like the importance they place on information, tracking the enemy junglers. And yeah, you can see the spotted the hacker moving upward, not actually skipping the raptors for now.
That is really smart. He just dodged the ward because he knows it's there and he's gonna do wolves. The important thing is if he's spotted on the second ward that is on the Grom, that means that his whole plan to skip the raptors and like dodge 5-10 seconds of uninsured presence is gonna be awry. And it seems like he's gonna stay. He got spotted by the ward. Oh, that was almost smart. That was almost.
Yeah, but here the level 2 coming in, the bot line 2v2 breaking out, Ignite taking down, flashes forward, misses the Void Seeker under the turret. First blood are gonna go forward, but this is gonna be the 1-for-1 in the end of the day. You would think, you would be happy for the side of FireFlies, because the Kai'Sa, the Senna is missing all of that minions under turret.
You would, but usually Tahm Kench is the one that's getting the farm either way. And a lot of and early gold on Tahm Kench is really strong, but it's good that there is some proactivity from FireFlies. Like they try to engage. Even if it wasn't for the exhaust out of Agora right there, it would have almost been a 1-for-0. So that was a really good response from Blue Moons against the FireFlies. And well, yeah, first blood came into bot lane. You know.
No, yeah, we were talking about we want some Fiestas. 3 minutes into the game and there's 6 summoner spells blown on the bottom side and going for a little bit trade here again. And yeah, the level 2, the classic level 2 Leona engage. You have to be careful. You have to know this is coming. Every single Leona player, that's the only thing they do in their entire life is to engage in level 2. I swear to my life. And you can see, again, engage going on, staying out of the turret range as well, but finding a bit of a damage, so this trade is not going to be so favorable. Viego here finding Hecarim in the jungle, looking for the 1-versus-1. And here, we'll be just chipping away the health bar a little bit. You can see the mid laners promptly moving to support their jungler. As the top lane 1v1 breaks out as well, dodges away from the Haymaker. And Camille here on the top line, finding a favorable trade at the moment.
Yeah, and Incizor is just having a field day with the set in this matchup. You wouldn't have think so, but the level 3 in trade that he had him at a really big lead. But yeah, the game has been really active. Hecarim has been trying to find leads at every corner. He tried to force the mid gank as well. At least he tried to chip at the Victor, but thankfully nothing bad happened to either of them. And yeah, bot lane is just really intense. You can see a lot of Fryo on the side of Kai'Sa and Leona. But will that lead to a dragon that is almost spawning right now?
Yeah, a lot of good pressure exerted by the bot lane here from FireFlies. But mid lane here will be just a free farm lane, in fact, for the Victor. Every Victor player's absolute wet dream here being realized in the mid lane. Laning against a Karma, you're not really in any kinds of danger. Not really letting your lane pushed out too far, and you will be absolutely fine. So yeah, I mean, most of the action we are still focusing here on bot lane. The Drake has spawned, but neither of the junglers seem to be so interested in that at the moment. So we'll see how this game will unfold. The Camille looking for a back already. So, and I think you can see the set is trying to set up a freeze here on the top side.
But the freeze is gonna end up in a slow bush as the tower just killed the melee minion right there. That was really unfortunate to the side of the set. But yeah, there's double chains already on the Hecarim and the Camille. And yeah, Victor is having a lot of free farm, but on the opposite end, bot lane have control of the lane for the most part. And that leaves a good opening for a good skirmish around the dragon pit. Oh.
Yeah, the bot lane 2v2 breaks out. Tahm Kench taking a lot of damage, but here still very tanky. Using the showstopper to get away. Was able to do so, so this top lane gank not going to result in anything. Goes backward. So much confidence here on the side of Ollie. Just doesn't give a single damn. And here, the bot side play coming in, flashes forward, want to find the kill, but here, flashes from the Viego will be taken down. Sunlight on the Leona, goes forward with the Zenith play as well. Locked down under the turret, the Viego's so strong at this point. But barely surviving Kaisa will be left to play for another day. But beautiful play coming out here for the side of Blue Moon Badgers on the bot side, relieving a bit of that pressure and making the play happen.
Yeah, it was a really good response. They just saw the hacker in top side, and you can see Shenzhen was just urgent to go bot lane. And if the second tongue lash hit the Kaisa right there when like the Viego hit the Zenith, she would have been dead. It's like it was a really good dodge on her side. And, like yeah, you can see Blue Moons is not letting them have an inch on the map, even though they're supposed to be the scaling comp that doesn't get ahead that much. But aside from Ollie in top lane, Blue Moons has been doing really well in the game.
Yeah, I mean, just push. You do have a lot of pressure as the bot lane duo, but you do have to be very, very careful. When your lanes are perma pushed up, you have to be expecting the enemy jungler attracting their attentions. And here, Viego making it work together with the bot lane. And here, the top lane 2v2 breaking out. You can see Ollie slowly but surely finding some advantage in this matchup as the level is piling up. And yeah, just playing pretty safe at the moment as well, letting the wave push into the middle.
Yeah, it's almost a quarter of a level ahead for the Camille right there, and they still have the double teleports in both the Camille and the Karma. And yeah, they might have lost the dragon, but I think with the double TP, they will probably look for a skirmish. Because double TPs is a really big advantage, especially when your Camille is pretty far ahead of the set.
Yeah, we can definitely see if they want to use this TPs to make some proactive plays around the map, maybe respond to something as well. And yeah, it's a very good point to point out because the Victor apparently uses the teleport to get back into the lane. So he is not going to be able to support his team in the next few minutes. As bot lane here still perma pushed in, we want to be careful. Both junglers on the top side though, so they will be having a bit of a time to themselves.
Yeah, and well, the bot lane is being pushed in a lot of the time, but it's not really doing that much. They cannot put that much strain on the Senna Tom Kench after all. It is the infamous Senna Tom Kench, so the name doesn't die. Like yeah, they might have lost the Devour, but the Tom Kench is gaining a lot of healing back.
Yeah, the Haymaker coming out. Again, yeah, it's been some quiet minutes. As we speak, Viego may be looking for a topside play, but like the Vision Fruit spots him out, using the Hex ultimate and just to stall some time. But here comes Capricorn from all the way downtown. Now Onslaught of Shadow going in. Viego's being focused down. Are they gonna do it? Incisor take him down with empowered kill. And Set here just want to get away. Ollie walking slowly but surely back to his turn. The Desperate Flash does nothing, and Zentroy takes down the kill.
Yeah, the flash was a little bit too late, but it was really good from FireFlies to finally engage right there. Like, Incisor held his ultimate really well, dodged his kind of the Viego, and managed to even E away to dodge the ultimate, and that was really big. And now Incisor has double summoners, he's 11 CS ahead, and they got a plate, and I think that either gonna push or try to find the Herald here.
Exactly, that is an absolute huge swing of tempo for the side of FireFlies on that top skirmish. You can see, yeah, Incisor so well played. He didn't panic, knowing his jungler is on his way, using the ultimate to stall some time, and was able to survive the initial engage, the initial damage output coming out from Ollie and Shenzhen. And Onslaught Shadow coming in, they focus down Viego, not letting him finding the reset. And yeah, the double kill on the top side. Leona here maybe going a little bit too deep. Still want to walk out of it. The Solar Flare comes out and they don't have anything to disengage from here. They're getting knocked up and knocked down, facing black and white screen. Excuse me. And again, yeah, we talked about these bot lane pressures, bot lane aggressions, ending up biting them in the butt. So
yeah, you can see, like, they just greeted for the place right there. It wasn't worth it, because like you already saw the Tom Kench, and you must have figured that the Senna would be there any second. It is just they're biting too much for them to swallow right now. Yes, they do currently have like an okay CS advantage and 2 plates, But losing members and losing a lot of XP on Leona and like leaving Kaisa alone when the dragon is spawning in 40 seconds is really disastrous for Fireflies.
Yeah, I can see this Tahm Kench surviving that initial engage, and he is full health now. He does not give any damn in the world. But here, Chagrin charges in 3 people, a little bit more than he was expecting, using Onslaught of Shadow defensively just to get away. So without their jungler being healthy, without the ultimate, you have to imagine this is gonna be the Drake they're setting up going over to the side of Blue Moon Badgers.
Yeah, and it will be really interesting to see which soul it is, because depending on the soul, that could really doom the game for Fireflies right now, who are still 1500 gold ahead, but like that lead doesn't mean that much outside of like a really good team fight, because like the value of Senna, Tom, and Victor that has had his first evolution is halfway through his second, it's gonna be really big.
So yeah, a big sign of relief, I suppose, because it is the Cloud Drake spawning. So either we get a Infernal, so this is gonna be the Infernal Soul for the game. So none of those Cloud Soul bullcrap we're getting. We want those damage. We want those spicy buffs coming in our way. And surely for the side of Blue Moon Badgers, they are marching, they're stacking up these Drakes towards there. On the top side, looking for a play, dodges away from the hook shot, and Ollie here just want to get away, but he cannot get away from the Hextech Automaton. Want to find the showstopper, want to turn this around, almost able to get it, but here, Hecarim using the Ghost, I believe, just barely able to get away, but hook shot lands again, another empowered kill. And this set has nowhere to go. Flashes forward. I'm not sure exactly that's necessary. Zentroid coming in here just snatches away from the kill. And for the rest of the team coming in, flashes forward, using the laser, shut down, going into the enemy mid laner. And the Chaos Storm locks down Camille on her turret, but that's not going to be enough.
I think if they wanted to, like, Blue Moons could have gotten the second kill on the Camille right there. I don't know. I think that they just played it safe and didn't want to pull a coin flip right there. But I don't think it was that much of a coin flip that they thought. You had the Hecarim. You could have just charged in, hit him with a rampage, and just all back in, and that would have been a free kill. But still, it is a good. Like they did really well, even though that they burned an extra flash that they didn't need to kill Ollie. But Blue Moon stopped the Herald, and now they got the Herald to themselves. Like, granted, plates are almost falling off. But a first tower here would be a really big relief for Blue Moon.
Yeah, I mean, I think one very important thing was Ollie was able to stop so much time on the top side as well, almost making the play, turning it around, almost taking down the Hecarim, was able to allow him to stall so much time, walking back on the top lane, allowing his team time to get back here. But here Hecarim want to look for something more, just a little bit of drive-by, being a bit naughty, not gonna find anything more than that. But yeah, I mean, the gold lead is still, surprisingly, I suppose, still going over to the side of the Fireflies, because of all the plays I believe they've taken, not on the top side, on the bot side earlier. But you can see, and we talked about these late game scaling factors, the comp differences on both sides. If you are Blue Moon Badgers, I would not believe you are too worried letting this game play out, and they have 2 stacks of Drake as well. And yeah, we will be seeing if the Fireflies can keep their advantage, keep their gold lead into these mid games.
Yeah, and a lot of the gold lead is just accrued inside of Incisor, who's really big on the Camille right now, and the place that they've gotten in the bot lane, and the fact that the bot lane has less CS right now. But as you can see, like, they're really trying to penetrate bot lane, but there's nothing happening, and like Incisor is playing really hard, and he's almost
on the top side. Hookshot was able to get away. There's a bit of an interesting interaction, I suppose, but yeah, nothing is gonna happen. Just absorbing a lot of pressure for his team as well. Incisor here, definitely at a pivotal point. Speaking of ganks in, going into the mid lane, the Onslaught of Shadow combo coming in is clutch, but the flash is away, doesn't really do nothing. The Chaos Storm, the whole kitchen sink is not gonna keep himself alive. And in the mid lane, we talked about how this Viego's having a field day, not anymore. The kill going over, I believe, to the side of Zentroid in that. So We'll be having that go 3-1-1 on this Hecarim. We talked about these dives, Camille being one power point, and this power pony definitely gonna apply so much pressure on the back line as well.
Indeed, and they need to be strong because like right now, like you can see like the PowerPoint to FireFlies is here. Like Karma has her Shirelias. There's a Kraken Slayer on Boyka, and like Incisor is almost both Incisor and Zentor are actually both of their Divine Thunders right there. And like these one item breakpoints right now are gonna put the Fireflies with a really big advantage that they can pull to get this Infernal Drake, which is gonna be really huge for them if they want to try to stall the game and win access skirmishes.
Another play maybe coming out onto the bot lane. Viego, I think, is just staying out of vision. But FireFlies here must be sensing something is definitely fishy. Having their jungler around as well, so they're not too afraid to take this fight. This is going to be the 4v4 on the bottom side River. Viego getting caught out, using the ultimate to get away, not going to be able to do so. The Gravity Field keeps disengaging the enemy team. Leona still want to look for this. The Soul Affair slows him down, and there is no more game to play for this Viego. Back to his fountain. The jungler is down, and a beautiful, beautiful pick coming out from the side of FireFlies. We were talking about this Infernal Drake, and this is going into their back pocket on the back of this beautiful team call coming in from FireFlies.
Indeed, and like it was just a pick-off. I don't think that they expected the extra movement speed from Shirelias right there to matter that much. At least Shenzhen didn't, and he got caught off in a Dragon Pit, and that led straight to an Inferno. And the Inferno is really big for everyone on FireFlies that need every bit of extra oomph to survive the innate scaling that is just better of Bloom and Badger.
Exactly, everything is looking nice and dandy here for the side of FireFlies. 4-1-1, 150 gold bounty on this Hecarim. Just been going around the map, taking up these kills, a lot of economy going into his back pocket as well. We can see Divine Thunder completed, working towards his second item as well. So we'll be in an absolute menace in these team fights, in these skirmishes as well. Camille on the top side, similar items completed. Want to find a 1v1 against this set. The Haymaker coming out, going forward, and power killed so much. Hextech Ultimatum goes onto him. The Showstopper is not going to be enough, and just melts Ollie where he stands. That's the power of this Camille. True damage empowered kill is absolutely ridiculous, as here wins out on a 1v1.
Yeah, and Incisor has just been pushing this lane wherever he wants for the last 18 minutes right now. He's been having lead after lead after lead, and the ganks and the dives. And that is just the cultivation of what has been happening. He has a big CS lead, he has his mythic, and Ollie just ate too much for wear. Like, once again, like, everybody just biting a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking during the pick and bans that this is supposedly be a set favorite lane, but it has been all Incisor here on the top side. This is where you type in out chat top diff, because you are solo, just absorbing pressures and winning your lane. The top tier 1 turret is down, so another gold injection going in for the side of FireFlies. The kill score is 7-4, and they are right now in, I believe, a 5k gold lead around that. You can see the bot lane maybe looking for a play. Viego is on the top side, so with the waves pushed in, maybe they don't want to look for anything more than that against a Tom Kench under the turret.
Well, they got the Devour out, which I think it was a little bit overeager because Dennis Blade didn't land in Agora right there. But like, yeah, like the Senate Tom is just running over the bot lane. The Leona can't stand up to it.
The Zenith Blade goes forward. Leona sure is tanky, but here comes the Hecarim, the CP coming in, and Senna's being melted where he stands. Flashes forward, want to chase on the display, and every single one is bottom line joining the party. The gravity field is gonna lock down Leona. He is gonna fall, but it's Shenzhen finding the kill as well. Dennis Blade goes forward, Viego finding these resets, and the red team, Blue Moon Badgers, are finding these fights as well. Zed is still going forward. Want to be very, very careful, but here the Viego still goes in with the possession again and again. Cannot be stopped. Want to get away, but Karma can't really do too much. It just blink of an eye and the turn of a coin, and the Blue Moon Badgers are back into the game. They still want to find more. Viego cannot be stopped under the turret, not gonna chase anymore. But here, We have no idea what happened, but the blood fight coming in from the bot lane, pulling Blue Moon Badgers back into this game.
It was a really beautiful 3-man face breaker from Ollie right there. Like, it was a good pickup from the side of Xantroid onto the Senna after they have baited the Devour out, but the TP and the face breaker was just it was the game breaker right there. If it wasn't for that 3-man stun, Viego wouldn't have been able to just reset after reset. And right now, the gold is just it's shrunk to 1k. And given the comp differences, and given the fact that Infernal is spawning in 52 seconds, excuse me, it's gonna be a really good fight for Blue Moons right now. After I thought that the Infernal would be just given out to FireFlies.
Yeah, you can see it in massive gold injection on the back pocket of Viego at the back end of that fight. 3, 2, and 2 now, working towards the second item as well. Just matching the power level that is available here for the side of Hecarim, but here the fight breaking out in the red side jungle. Leona's being focused down, using the black scroll, knocks the entire enemy team forward. You're not going to find anything more, and the split pushing Camille on the top side. Surprise, surprise, we've seen that before. And he still want to look for these inhibitors. This is going to be third Drake coming out for the side of Blue Moon Badgers, excuse me.
You know, he still has some time, because they're still going to try to capture the Inferno, and Ollie is not going to be enough to stop him.
Yeah, the onslaught shot goes in, steals the Drake where he stands. How do you do it? Giving up for his life, but it's going to be well worth it. The rest of the team want to go forward. Chaos Storm taking a lot of damage, keeping the Victor alive. And here Viego here finding all the reset. The rest of the team just want to get the hell out of town. Viego goes forward, finds the stun. Karma just want to kite away, but there is nowhere for him to go. Viego in relentless pursuit finds the speed up with the stun onto the ground. There is no escape. The Kai'Sa actually taking down a Senna on the back end of that, but here comes the Camille joining the party. 1 versus 3. I'm not sure. What are you doing here? Using a hook shot just to get away. Clean way in and a clean way out. What a messy fight. It was blood everywhere. But the important thing is Hecarim Xantroid was able to steal away the Drake. 2 versus 2 on the Drake count. So that was absolutely massive for FireFlies.
It was a really important steal. That just wowed them at least 6 or 8 more minutes in that game. And that is a really big ramp, because right now they have 8% adaptive force on their whole team. And you look at everything, they got a lot of value in the top side and they stole the dragon. Yes, the fight did not go that well, and right now Viego is gonna be huge. You can see a 500 gold shutdown on him. He's already completed both of his Related to the Rune King and the Sundra. And yeah, this is good. Right now, FireFlies has bought themselves 1 more skirmish where their lives is gonna be on the line. If they lose that, if they lose the next Infernal, if they lose the next team fight, it's gonna be over for them. But at least they have themselves a last hurrah.
Yeah, just some bit more time to set up around the map. And yeah, I mean, a bit of a team communication, I suppose. Everyone went in. And Hecarim there, he was able to get the Drake. If the rest of the team can just get out, that would be the absolute dream scenario here for the side of the FireFlies. But unfortunately, they were expending a bit of a members, giving the kills over to the side of Blue Moon Badgers. So yeah, giving a bit of a map control as well. But you can see all members back on the map, just farming up a little bit, clearing out the visions. And yeah, the next objective will be this Drake spawning, as the Baron is still on the map, but doesn't seem like both teams want to touch it anytime soon.
Yeah, Baron is really healthy at this point in the game, and you don't have enough damage.
Play in the mid lane. Viego maybe goes a little bit too forward. I don't know what you're thinking. You're having a fantastic game, but this is where it goes a little bit too far. Here, the Hector ultimate dives onto the back line. The TP coming in and just get melted where he stands. Senna is facing black and white screen. So the jungler for the AD carry, actually 2 men dead on the side of Blue Moon Badgers. Just a bit of a overheated play coming in here. We are not sure how you're supposed to make that play.
It was just a misstep out of Shenzhen right there, and it cost them a lot. Like the Hextech ultimatum is absolutely huge in this stage of the game. Like you
Yeah,
can
I
see,
mean,
like the Thunder and Hydra, like Camille is hitting like a truck. Especially a lot of your members are tanky. There's a lot of HP on the set, a lot of HP on the Tom Kench, even some HP on the Senna. Eventually, who
no,
is going
exactly.
Thunder.
Like I think the Senna was there getting locked down by the ultimate. He still has half HP and he just disappeared in that moment with the Camille. I think the Hecarim dive onto her as well. And just as an AD carry at this point of a game, in that scenario, you just don't really get to play the game anymore. And yeah, just overzealous, overextension coming out from the Blue Moon Badgers. Maybe having the lead was able to find some skirmishes on the back end of those Drake fights, giving them a little bit too much confidence. And here, 3 versus 4, both teams are posturing around this Drake pit. They want to have vision. They want to regain control. It is Blue Moon Badger in the Drake pit already, so the Fireflies want to look for a way in, want to clear out these visions.
Yeah, and you can see like both teams are posturing for it, and I believe Blue Moon's gonna really want to play a front-to-back team fight, and their TP is coming in. They're really edging for the fight right now.
This is the game, just fighting fight one way or the other. 5 men strong staring into each other, dead in the eye. The Drakes is ready, spawn. And Firefly here just want to move in. Leona here, first on the charge. Maybe want to look for it engage. Maybe want to look for the Soul Affair, the Zenith play. But here, still nobody is touching the Drake yet. Getting some vision down. This is going to be so important. The tension is in the air. But here comes the Mantra E. Here comes the engage. Dives on the back line. They got Senna as well. Tizani is going to keep Victor alive for a little bit. But the damage coming out is absolutely huge. Sad is keeping his back kind of alive. But here, the double kill going over to the Camille already. And they are sweeping the floor where Blue Moon stands. This is going to be the 5-man clean ace coming out from the side of Fireflies as they absolutely take control of the game.
They just pulled the trigger and...
Woohoo!
Like Blue Moon, they had no chance. As soon as they saw that the Tompkins were just a little bit too far away from the Senna and the Victor, everything was thrown out. Like the Mantra Shield, the Hecarim Ultimate, the Chevaliers, they had no chance right there. And it was just a small misstep just from the Tom Kench and the fact that it couldn't be in range for the Devourer. They just put their foot on the pedal and didn't let him in, and now they have three Infernals. They have the Drake. This is a really big lead, and the Sizer is just running.
Look at the atrocity that's being committed, and he gets out. No, he didn't in the end. The shutdown going over to the Viego. But yeah, like we said, we are not sure how you're supposed to outplay that. We can't just. I think that's the first time we witnessed the power of this dive count. You have the Mantra E, everyone, the Shirelia, the Hecarim is diving in, the Camille's on the back line. Like, just the poor Senna and Victor. Victor having a Zanya was able to keep himself a little bit longer, but there is just nowhere for the double carry for the side of Blue Moon Badgers to go in these team fights. And from there on, is all about cleaning up the Viego, the set. You don't really have your main damage dealers once they are down. And these rough skirmishes, you have the Camille with the Q, very short CDs. And yeah, the team fight is going in absolute favor now for the side of Fireflies.
And right now, Fireflies are back in the lead. The whole time they were playing from an even footing, but right now, three Infernals. Probably posturing for an Infernal Soul 3 minutes from now. They're gonna accumulate a lot of gold from the Baron, just by the sheer virtue of them splitting and the fact that Blue Moon needs to respond to the mid lane Baron push while both side lanes are gonna be empty. It's looking really good for Fireflies right now, and it went from being the do or die for Fireflies to the Soul Point being the do or die for the Blue Moon Badgers, and it was just the fact that the Tom Kench couldn't get the Devourer in time that turned the fight over, because suddenly...
They're looking for a play here. The Chirelia used just to disengage because they saw the Camille on about side. They know she doesn't have TP'd yet. Using a hook shot, you can see just want to get to her team as soon as possible. But yeah, this is a bit of a classic, I suppose, solo kill Baron push. In which case, you're not doing enough standing on a ward. There is no chance for the Viego to go. Now they have the numbers advantage, all pushing in against the mid lane, as the bot lane wave is pushing in as well. You want to synchronize these waves using the Baron buff power to put pressure on different lanes and breaking down this turret as well. But you do have a Victor on the side of Blue Moon Badgers, excuse me, so you can see just the wave clear power coming in. They do have the cannon hitting on the turrets as well. The siege is underway, but we want to see if FireFlies will be able to get this inhibitor turret in the mid lane, getting some power, getting some value out of that Baron buff.
Yeah, and they even got a top lane inhibitor as well, and Sizer just looks to be uncontested right now.
Yeah, maybe you want to be very, very careful with this. Goes forward, Gravity Field catches them up, but here the showstopper beautifully stops the hook shot. Acts the automated coming in, but there is no way for him to go. An inhibitor for his life. As a team, I'm not sure if you gotta live with that, but again, a Baron power play was able to allow FireFlies breaking down these structures, which would be near impossible, I suppose, otherwise for them against a Victor. And yeah, we'll be prepping for one last fight as the Drake is spawning. This is gonna be the Infernal Soul for the side of FireFly. So Blue Moon Badgers, they want to spend everything they can to prevent this from happening.
Yeah, they do, but like you can see, that is the thing about Enchanter mid laners. Like you can look at Karma, she doesn't really have as much dependency on gold as the Victor does. Like Victor's items are much more expensive. He's just sitting on like Ludens, Zonias, and components. Karma's already on 3.5 items, and she has a lot of bonus shielding power. And the same thing, like you look at Kaisa, and like she's already like 3.5 items compared to the 2 items of the Senna. Like this is looking really doomed. They don't seem to finish their item completions before the Baron spawns, the Soul Point spawns.
Yeah, the TP coming in from the set, just pushing out the top wave a bit. 2 lanes, super minions pushing in. Hecarim here is on the backside looking for a flank. This is going to be absolutely crucial. The dive comp, the execution has to be absolutely perfect. But here the Town Slash going forward, and super minions are still pushing into the base. They don't want to stop here, but here the showstopper goes back into the team. The Venture E coming in, dives onto the back line, flashes away, but here this is the fight on the multiple front. Set is already taken down here on the back side. They're not finding any of these inhibitors. And here the Viego dives in with the possession, want to get out as well. The Hecarim is still so strong, chasing forward for the jungler. And Zenith's Blade goes in, is still kiting away. Hecarim takes down the Viego as well. The Gravity Field will be locking down the rest of the team. And the double carry, the Senna and the Victor is going to live on the back end of that. But the super minions don't care about any of these shenanigans that's happening. They are pushing onto the base. And you have to believe this is FireFly's game to take. Can they make the last stand? Just hit the Nexus. Make some victory downs as well. This is 4 versus 2. The Zanya coming in for celebration, and FireFlies takes game 1.
And once again, like they just can't seem to figure a way to deal with the Hecarim. The Hecarim just was too good. Like Incisor did die, but the amount of value that he just like forced the Blue Moon Badgers to pull out was too good to the fact that Hecarim and Kaisa just had a free fight right there. And there is a lot of value that came into the Karma.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very messy team fight to say the least. I mean, top laners diving in, stalling a lot of time for both sides. Yeah, but in the end, we can see just a bit of a calm diff, that very decisive third Infernal Drake fight. We just executed perfectly, you can see on the side of FireFly, and there is just no counterplay for the side of Blue Moon Badgers to be found. And yeah, they want to take this into the locker room, talk about themselves, among themselves, how to adjust these pick and bans. Is it some sort of execution error they weren't able to find? Is it just the comp differences that they cannot really overcome? This is definitely something they want to be thinking about during these pauses, bring into game 2, making some adjustments. And we as spectators, we will be very excited to see if they will be able to put out a new look against the FireFlies.
Yeah, and like the crucial thing in the last few fights was the fact that Tom Kench couldn't get the Devour off, and that is where Incisor and the Hecarim were really, really pressuring them to like separate the Tom from the carries. But that was really they just put their foot on the pedal. They knew when to fight. They knew when to go. They knew when to see the Tom Kench and say, "Okay, this is our cue," and they just hit it right on. And well, that is a lot of things that both teams will have to look forward to for game 2. A lot of power points in both teams, and we'll take a break and we will be right back with you with game 2.
See you soon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to the all, I think 9 people. Oh, we got 23 people on our channel. Hello, and welcome to every single one of you guys. Yeah, we are back with the action. If you are just joining us, this is Blue Moon Badgers versus Fireflies. I'm thinking about the names. Took me a while, but yeah, the in game one, it was a very close and competitive game going over to the side of Fireflies. A bit of a different sort of styles of comp as well. The dive versus the kiting back, the team fight, and we're gonna see how perhaps for the Blue Moon Badgers how they are gonna adjust, how they are gonna sort of talk a little bit within their teams about the pick and bans, about the early game execution or late game execution, in which case, how they can do it better, how they can pull this around in the second game.
Yeah, and I would personally say the point of no return of the first game was the fight at the fourth dragon, which was the second Infernal, where Fireflies could find a really good angle onto both the Victor and the Senna. And from there, they kept finding the same kind of angles, and Blue Moon Badgers have no response for it. So that would leave you with like the question: would they like resort to a traditional like bot lane and keep the scaling front to back like centric team fight, which they are like doing a lot of good setups for? Like you can see like the early wards, everything.
No,
Like that
yeah.
was really good on the
Mm-hmm.
side of Blue Moon Badgers. But just the fact that they couldn't hold it means that they need to either like resort to a traditional ADC or just say that okay, this was just a performance issue. We got it off our chest. Let's go with game two, same thing.
Yeah, and if they decide to do that, we will be finding out very, very soon as we are jumping into the pick and ban phase. First ban coming in from the side of Blue Moon Badgers will be the Seraphine. Kind of an interesting pick, supposedly, because you don't really see that much Seraphine any more popular in a professional plays all around the world, but certainly a very, very strong champion. Pretty broken one as well, as the Vladimir ban coming out again, targeting Vanilful in the mid lane, one of his most played champion, and just a terror in general to deal with, especially we scale into these late games.
Indeed,
And
and the
go for it.
Seraphine was just like one of the signature picks of Sunlight, and I think that they just scared at that. But with this right now, there's like the picks that were really strong in last game. The Camille and the Viego. Are they gonna make it through the first ban phase? Do they have answers if like each team brings them back in? Or are they gonna keep the same bans and just try to see if they can draft differently to answer the threats of the last game?
Yeah, you can see so for the band so far is relatively similar. Decided to get rid of the karma. Excuse me. It's decided to get rid of the karma. Decided they do not want to deal with that in this game. And the Viego being banned away, reasonably so, was finding some very, very nasty resets in those bot lane team fights last game. So again, each team making some adjustments to the previous game while keeping a bit of their sort of standard strategy as well in terms of bans. So we will be seeing how Blue Moon Badgers want to have a fresh look in their team comp now. The first pick again is the Senna. We were talking about we're not exactly sure about the pick neither. Not just not a lot of mobility in general. Very vulnerable and wasn't able to do too much in the first game. It is here the run back, Kaisa and Hakurim. Again, 2 picks in and is screaming just dive here for the side of FireFlies. So maybe they want to run everything back in. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Indeed, but like that begs the question: what do Blue Moon's Badgers have as an answer? This time they're on blue side. Are they gonna pinch more enchanters in the second phase of the bans, or do they have answers for the Hecarim and the Kaisa? And Mordekaiser is locked in, and that's really interesting.
Ooh, let's go. Sending at least anyone all the way back to Brazil. Definitely what you think about it. It is, I mean, Hakurim, whoever is accessing on your back line, point your finger and he is gone. He is stuck with you. So definitely a bit of a safety for your backline as well. You can see maybe that's the reason why they decided to go for that pick. And the Trondo here as well, a very beefy frontline. You would suppose this is going to the jungle as well. And it has been popping up around the world in professional plays as well. Strong ganks and with the item changes as well, making it a very viable pick in the jungle.
Indeed, and both of them are really good answers to Hecarim, and that seems to be the focal point that Doom Badgers are going for. And we'll see with the second ban phase right now. Are they gonna pinch supports again? Are they gonna pinch mid laners, which seems to be the one thing that Fireflies have really going for them, because the Karma is going really well against the Victor, and they pinch the Tom Kens. They just don't want to deal with an unkillable lane, which I mean is fair.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that Tom Ken actually did too much in the first game. Maybe it's just our caster's untrained eyes. But yeah, decided to ban that away. Not really wanting to deal with that. And this Tom Kench, yeah, he said doesn't really have to go to the support. Can be played somewhere else on the top play. So the Shen again banned away. Don't want that combo going over to the side of Fireflies. Excuse me. So yeah, might be looking for the Camille ban if you are the Blue Moon Badger, because that pick was absolutely pivotal for them in the last game.
A Mundu ban, which is is understandable if you want to go for a dive comp. You don't want too many tanky targets, because then they just run you down, especially a lot of juggernauts like Mordekaiser and Trundle and Mundo. But given that you are picking Kaisa and Zyra, you seem that you should be able to like just peel him off eventually. But they don't seem to believe the case, and the Camille ban, as you've said, has come out.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to deal with that. And the Sizer on that pick was absolutely fantastic for them. So yeah, we want to see how they decided to run up this comp. Doesn't really have the hard engage Leona anymore. And looking at the Gwyn as well, so a bit of a fresh look. Not just screaming dives every single where. I suppose a lot of sort of skirmishing power, and Gwen just a very, very strong champion in general in this patch.
Indeed, and the thing about Gwen as well is that she works really well against the Mordekaiser because her shroud cancels out the pull of Mordekaiser, and suddenly Mordekaiser, who is already an immobile champion, has lost his one gap closer. And that is a really brutal matchup for Morta as a whole because the extra range Gwen has and the shroud and everything. And the Corki is just, yeah, they seem to be playing a lot of, hey, we'll just like poke him off with long range with Senna and Corki. And then if they decide to run into us, we have the answers of Mordekaiser and Trundle. And the repeat of the set of Ollie.
Yeah, I mean, not too much has changed, I suppose. They were able to fresh up a bit of their look, and this is gonna be indeed a set support. I just realized. So, yeah, gotta see how that play into the general comps. I don't think. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough lane. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but it's gonna be a rough lane for the set into the Zyra because you can always kite away and the Nautilus. So that would be indeed a Zyra mid lane coming out here. We're expecting, or is it?
I think it should be.
Yeah,
Unless they really like believe in
pulling out
Maki
the
holding himself
Doingby
out. Yeah.
AP Nautilus Dark Technology. We would love to see it, but so far we think that's just gonna be the Zyra in the mid lane. So not really, you don't really see this pick a lot, but definitely which can catch people off guard a little bit. Just the amount of damage output, sustained damage output coming out from this champion is absolutely huge, especially in these team fights and AoE damages as well. So yeah, a bit of a fresh look for both side.
Yeah, and I would be really. Oh, I don't think they're gonna do it. I was really intrigued if like they're gonna even like. Oh, they are. Mordekaiser Felly is gonna go bot lane. Hold on. Ollie just took the set back, unless Ollie's gonna play the set support himself. But yeah, there is a lot of shenanigans you can pull to like just make the Zyra have a really bad day. One of them is just the Trundle with the pillar because both like bot laners are really short ranged, and the other one is just putting the Corki bot with as a support or with Sen as a support. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're just gonna resort to a more basic comp. But yeah, like you can see, like we thought that like they're not gonna go for the dive. Like evidenced by the bot lane, they still want to have Boyka and Sunlight that have like a really dominant heavy prio lane. And that seems the way that FireFlies play. But they also want to retain the engage that they had, but they just shifted it to mid lane. And the fact is, Corki is not the most oppressive early game champion. So that can leave Nautilus with the ability to like survive the early lane long enough to the point where he can like spread his influence through other lanes. But yeah,
Right.
like both teams this time seem to be wanting to go into each other. Like even Blue and Badgers right now, are they like, you want to come at me, bro? Let's go. Like if you wanna throw a punch, I'll throw a punch back. Except like the other game, it was like, you see, and this is what the value of Tom Kench. Like you want to throw like a heavy prio bot lane. I just picked Tom Kench and Senna, and we're not gonna die. And they didn't lose HP the whole laning phase. The whole problem was the fact that sometimes they just got caught off, and the Devourer couldn't save them.
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, indeed, a very fresh look coming out here, especially just again, I mean, we have our guesses, we have our predictions, but all of these players, and in this league in general, they can always swap around roles as well. So we are not until we load onto the Summoners Rift, we are not gonna be 100% sure who is on which position, which makes it all that more interesting, all that more exciting, I suppose. And yeah, we're definitely gonna see how a bit of these weird lanes are gonna play out. I mean, the Senna we've already seen, but I think it's the Mordekaiser in the support position.
Yeah, the fact that Agora is the one on the Mordekaiser, like I don't know. I think they're just gonna put Ollie and Stronger in bot lane, and probably Agora just is a Mordekaiser player, so
Right.
he's just gonna have like Mordekaiser to himself against the Gwen. At least that's what I hypothesize.
I
Because
mean,
I think it's too hard to put a Mordekaiser as a support in my eyes.
that's one way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, as we load on to Summoner's Rift, all these mysteries will finally be revealed, hopefully. And yeah, the game two, very, very different looks. Some similarities carrying on, but we are gonna see how this is gonna play out as we load onto this.
Yeah, and I'm really intrigued to see the setups, and you can see like once again, Boyka and Sunlight are running Heal Ignite, and they just want to have a really aggressive laning phase. And a second Ignite on Makati, they just seems like itching for blood again. It is the same thing with the Fireflies are just like yeah. Yeah, like they're just like putting a full Firefly mode here, like like we won't live that long, but we're not gonna live that long either.
Yeah, there's three TPs on the side of, I believe, sorry, Blue Moons. Sorry, Fireflies as well. Sorry, Blue Moons, excuse me. And my client's crashing a bit, so let's see. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna see how this is gonna play out. Very interesting game, keeping us up in the chairs. As we are loading onto the Summoner's Rift. Okay, and we are experiencing a bit of a pause right now.
And the pause seems to be from the side of the Fireflies, which is probably a technical issue in one of their members.
Yeah, definitely want to sort that out before we go any further, and just having to pause in the middle of a team fight. We've seen that quite enough in professional stages as well, and don't want the Reddit to blow up tomorrow morning. Just, oh, Fireflies are rigging this competition. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I don't know, like looking like triple TP from the side of Blue Moons.
That's gonna be very, very exciting. Just 3 minutes in, level 3, and the bot lane,
5-man
five
bot
man
lane.
party on the bot lane. You love to see that. So yeah, I mean, as of now, the runes are pretty standard. You can see across both teams. The Conquer on the set, press the attack, and the Fleet Footwork on the Corki. Conquer on the Mordekaiser as well. So a lot of these skirmishing powers coming out. Hell
Yeah.
Blade, the Dark Harvest coming in from the bot lane here for the side of Blue Moon. And yeah, just pretty standard comp, but we will see how this is gonna play out.
Yeah, I'm interested in Dark Harvest over Electrocute on the Zyra though.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Harvest is good if you know that you're gonna like find kills or find procs.
Mm-hmm.
But Electrocute is higher base damage, and maybe they're just like synthesizing the fact that like the set is gonna be bot and he's gonna have a lot of sustain. So we're gonna like find a lot of procs, and Electrocute is gonna be healed up faster. And she's just like playing into the later the game goes, Dark Harvest is gonna do more. But
Yeah,
that all
definitely.
depends on like how the bot lane will go, because I have no idea what's gonna be the second laner next to Senna in the bot lane right now.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly this, as we are jumping back into the game, the pause has ended. So, should we go back to the 10-second point?
Okay, I am.
I am as well. So, Right, and finally long awaited. Not really long, I suppose 2 minutes of pauses, but we are finally loading onto the Summoner's Rift. So again, we are seeing how the early game is gonna play out. Both team not looking for any kinds of shenanigans. Neither will be just guarding these entrances as well. And you would expect, excuse me, the Blue Moon Badgers here want to look for a bit of an info like they did last time.
Yeah, and there's the Mordekaiser in the bot lane, and it is another fasting Senna. And that is really good if they can find the correct angle of the skirmish. If you're gonna like let Mordekaiser have gold. But once again, Mordekaiser is one of these champions that his obliterate specifically scales really well with levels, and the fact that he's gonna be gimped in levels is gonna hurt his damage a fair bit. But yeah, like you can see, like Fireflies are finding vision right now. They just like put the ward in red just to see where he's gonna start, and the fact that the red is gonna be up means that they know that the Trundle is gonna start in blue next to Ollie.
Yeah, having that information about the jungler's pathing is always so important. And Incisor are here again as well, doing the same. So a bit of an exchange in game one. It was Blue Moons looking for these infos, but in game two, Fireflies decide to return the favor. As here, starting on opposite side of the jungle, may probably means a bit of a trade of Scuttle Crabs we will be seeing as lanes here playing into these first waves as well.
Yeah, and oh, a little bit of a trade is going on the top side, but nothing too major. But yeah, like the thing is, especially about the wards that Fireflies has put, is that once he know that he's starting on one buff, we know that he's not gonna be on the other, so the other ward is luxurious. And that might just be a little bit of a pet peeve, but it at least is good to track where he is the whole time. But the ward that the red buff is gonna expire before he gets there.
Yeah, if you are a jungler, it's just always feels so bad. Meanwhile, on the top side, trade coming in, Prost the Conqueror as well. Flash to follow first blood, getting it right back onto the Incisor's face as Ali here takes the early game 1-for-1 kill.
Wake side no more, baby. Ollie is ready to ruin this lane apart. And the thing about like Gwen against that is like that it's really minute the way that you need to use your harrowing to try to counter his face breaker, and it's really hard to execute because most of the time sets aren't really going for max range face breakers against Gwen because they know the miss, which makes the lane really hard for the Gwen. And the fact that the Gwen is gonna be pretty well melee the whole time as well means that if he elects to go into Stride Breaker, which I think he should, this is gonna be a really hard time for Gwen and whoever is going against her.
Yeah, to consider mid lane here, get caught by the root, a lot of damage. The Dark Harvest we were talking about getting procced here. And Trundle here will be spotted out by a ward, so the bot lane here will be retreating on the side of Fireflies. But yeah, like we talked about, just the early advantage. Gwyn is such a strong champion in the early game as well. It is very, very crucial for Ollie just to find this early advantage and maybe snowball it into something very, very advantageous for his team as well. But meanwhile, we will be just playing a bit of a calm game. And Zara here just want to push these waves in as well, having a stacked minion waves. But yeah, both junglers doing a bit of a clear as well.
Yeah, and Ollie seems to be pulling some sort of a freeze on the top side right now. Which he might break into a slow push, but the fact that the Hecarim is here waiting for him to shove back, and he's electing to shove it pretty slow. And
yeah, you can see it. Sizek here want to walk, but here comes the Hecarim. Will be spotted out by a ward, so wasting a bit of a time would definitely be happy. Just helping his top laner to push out these waves. You love a jungler who does that every single time for you. Just want to go for finding a reset. It's spending a lot of time. Get pulled into the turret. With the red buff, we'll be able to regen a bit. But Incisor here, finding a 1v1. Ollie is keeping this minion wave in front of his turret. Just always so annoying to deal with. Incisor here, maybe looking for a back. And the freeze, like we said, still keeping on for Ollie here on the top side. We'll be breaking that a bit. But yeah, a lot of time spent for Zentroid here on the top side.
Yeah, and most importantly, a whole wave of XP is Leech, which is gonna give a huge advantage. It's almost half a level to Ollie over Incisor right now, and he didn't even get the shove properly in to recall either, which is really dangerous for Incisor, who if he falls behind to the set can just like dominate the lane for like a good 10-15 minutes until items comes online for Incisor. But right now, he's just running the game. As you can see, he hits another face breaker.
Yeah, still going forward. Want to find these trades, and the damage coming out from Haymaker is a lot. But here, using the rotation, want to be very, very careful. Not a lot of health bar to work with. You can see Trundle moving up. Maybe they want to look for a dive, looking for a play on the top side. If Gwyn dies without TP, it's going to be absolutely disastrous for her. Goes forward, want to find the level 6 coming in from Ali. He is able to, not really. So the 1-for-1 under the turret, but Gwyn will be losing out quite a lot of that minions under the turret.
Yeah, maybe a little bit over eager from Ollie, but it is telling net to win for the side of Blue Moon Badgers. FireFlies here. Excuse me. Blue Moon Badgers. Yeah, but it is a big advantage. Like, it's a play and a half. It's almost 2 wave XP. And you can see, like, Ollie is halfway through level 6, while Incisor, with that kill, have caught up a little bit in the XP department, but he's still behind. Like, 2 kills on set to his 1.
There's a lot of actions happening in the mid lane. 3 members from the side of a Blue Moon converging, but here Hecarim will be just on his way out into the bottom side of the map. And yeah, stabilizing a little bit. You can see Ollie on a bit of a roam as well, helping out his team, applying some pressures around the map. But the Zentroid will be just staying on the bottom side, clearing out his jungle for a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, and the bot lane has been like devolving into a little bit of a low state, which is to be expected because the Nautilus can't really go inside the Mordekaiser and the Senna without being popped. Like, he's not that tanky enough yet, and the Trundle in the top side, meanwhile.
So comes the top side play, using the flash as well to get the hell out of town. Won't be able to do so, but here the good force of Summoner Spell out. They might be looking for this win again on the top side, as this wave is still in front of Ollie's turret. So this is going to be some hard several minutes for Incisor to play. Just want to get those CS and just at least experiences in as well.
Yeah, but on the opposite side of the map, the FireFlies has found the Ocean Drake, which is really good for Incisor right here. Because that really buys them a lot of regen that he doesn't really match the set in.
Yeah,
and that also is like a good turnover from the Prio they have in bot lane.
Yeah, using the phase breaker, flashes forward, looking for the insect, and not going to be able to find it. So on the turret, Gwyn will be just staying alive for a little bit. Ollie here has no fear, just hitting the turret whatever way he wants, looking for this place. But here, Dawn about side, using the ultimate to lock the Nautilus out into Brazil, dives forward, but only be met by the Toronto. He is chasing it up, and this is gonna be a 4-man party with 2 dead bodies on the ground. Blue Moon Badgers finding the play here on the bot side.
And it is a really beautiful execution of the theoretical power of Mordekaiser Senna. Suddenly the Kaisa is all on her own with no pit at all, and the Trundle is just dogging her down. And that is really important because the fact that the bot lane was really going in the favor of FireFlies, these plates and the missed XP from the minions is gonna mean so much for Blue Moon Badgers right here.
Yeah, Blue Moon Badgers making these smart plays are slowly but surely accumulating these advantages on the top side, on the bot side as well. Speaking of which, you can see Hecarim maybe want to look for a play here on the top side, using the Ghost. Sensing something is happening, still have the Haymaker to get away if he wants to. But here, using the Phase Breaker, a lot of damage coming in, but he cannot live for the Needle. Here comes the Corki as well. Want to find a 2 versus 1, but will be just getting the hell out of town promptly as Zyra arrive onto the scene as well. So good play coming out from FireFlies on the top side, just sort of salvaging a bit of that Gwyn situation.
Yeah, like, you can see they have a lot of trust in Incisor. They're willing to, throw a lot of resources into him, and Corky's getting caught off.
A full combo coming in, the Ignite going down. The flash is not gonna do anything. The Sunlight finds the solo bolo against the enemy mid laner. And here, wanna fight for this crab as well. Trondo wanna stay, but this is not maybe what you wanna find. The Sunlight, it was able to disengage. A lot of damage coming in. The TP going down, and Ollie is arriving onto the scene. They want us to focus onto this Trondo, but here comes Incisor as well. Sniff, snip, and snip. Zentrite takes down the kill. And Trondo here is perhaps a little bit too overzealous, dying for the crabs as well. But yeah, again, another good play found by the side of FireFlies as they're slowly turning this around.
Indeed, and I think Ollie was just trying to find the showstopper angle, but he couldn't find any right there. He was just like stuck on the other side of the wall while Shenzhen was just finding all three of them, which was really sad. And yeah, like in the top fight, like right prior to that, I think the thing that happened is that the Corky needed to waste his package just to get to the fight, and it was too late because Ollie have died either way, which is really unfortunate for the side of Blue Badgers. But yeah, like, it went from them being like almost 500 gold ahead to them being 1k behind right now. And like there is a shutdown on Incisor again. Like Incisor is really caught back up to where he was, and he's not even caught up.
Again, the ultimate coming in. He started focusing onto the Kaisa, using killings to dive away, but there is flashing forward. 3 men is on his tail. Meanwhile, on the top side, a retaliation play want to come out. Haymaker goes in. The downing shuttle across the screen is gonna keep his top laner alive. But yeah, beautiful play coming out from bot lane. It looks all so easy. This is perhaps a bit of a dark technology we're talking about. Simply ults the AD carry and she has nowhere to go with your jungler coming into the scene. And every time it's a certified kill for the side of Blue Moon Badgers here on the bot side.
Yeah, the important thing is that FireFlies are not letting this go for free. They're finding proactivity on the other side. They're pressuring Ollie super hard. Yes, in this time they didn't get like the kill, but they forced the Senna ultimate, which is a really big cooldown. I think it's like 140-second cooldown in rank 1, which is really big. And like given the fact that the dragon is coming up in 10 seconds and you're not gonna have that, nor do you have the showstopper, it's gonna be really like hard for Blue Badgers to fight this.
Yeah, you can see the rest of the team is converging onto this. Ollie has the TP, but Incisor doesn't. So this might turn into a 5v4 very, very quickly. As here being started up already, Zyra being a little bit caught out, has to use the flash to get out of town, but so much damage coming in. And the enemy jungler is almost taken down even. Maybe they will move into this, but TP coming down from Ollie. Kaisa want to find a kill as well. Was able to take down the Tron, but here, stuck in the middle of nowhere, taken down bonk by the Mordekaiser. So AD carry for the jungler, as the rest of the Blue Moon Badgers still maybe want to look for this. FireFlies want to move in. Root lands onto the Hecarim, and Zyra is throwing out a lot of these pokes as well. The Drake is still relatively healthy. Gwen is pushing onto the top side as well, and you can see Trondo already walking all the way out of their base. Maybe they want to just go for this Corky backing as well, maybe trying to pick up the package and come for round 2.
Incisor has just got 3 plays in the top side, and that is the really big gold
just having a field day on the top side as well. And this skirmishing has been going on for all so long. The Voice Seeker connects onto Ollie, very, very close. And here, the Corky want to throw out some grenades, will be able to secure themselves the Drake as well. So Drake count 1 for 1 for the past 5 minutes. It must have been. Incisor has been having a field day on the top side, getting so much gold. And yeah, traded just resources around the map. Both teams would be happy with that.
Both teams would be happy with that, but that would make Incisor such a big threat. And he's got it, like, that is a lot of gold. He got like 4 solo plates, and he got the first tower. Right now, that makes him too strong for Agora to take him inside the Shadow Realm. Which is a really scary prospect, because right now you're gonna have a Gwen that is really hard to pull over. And she's gonna like roll over your melees really easily. And it just like begs the question, like, who's gonna stop the Gwen eventually?
Yeah, this champion, we've all seen the power of Gwen just in the late game. You cannot do any damage to him, but in the same time, he can just absolutely melt your backline and the front line as well with the true damage coming in. So yeah, we're gonna definitely see how they are gonna handle this Gwen situation, just letting him free farm on the top side. And here on the bot side, maybe looking for a play. Trundle is still hanging around, will be spotted out by a ward coming out. But yeah, I mean, going into the mid game, although they have that objective, the Drake taken up, but just everyone is scaling up on the side of FireFlies is here, finding a bit of a mid play. The Hackroom want to go in. The Onslaught of Shadow hits absolutely nothing. And here, the good play coming out, just catching Zyra a little bit too overextended.
And yeah, and Corgi is getting there. He have like his tag 2/3, that his tier is almost tagged. He has his shield bow, which hasn't even been progged in the last fight. And like he's getting there, like he's getting the value that he needs out of the Corki to be able to deal with the front line that won't be Gwen, because you won't be able to land the auto attacks on her, sadly.
Yeah, you can see the Herald play coming out from the side of Blue Moon Badgers. Both team is converging onto this, but this is going to be the 3 versus 2, having taken down the enemy mid laner, that is Zyra. So we'll be just giving this away. Doesn't really have any place to look for neither at this point of the stage, so we'll be just some turrets, some infrastructures taken down, map control and pressures going over, hopefully, with this Herald to the side of the Blue Moon Badgers.
Yeah, and while they are heading kills for the Blue Moon's Badgers, they are still 500 gold behind, which is mostly just put into Gwen, and the amount of gold that she has taken over from the top lane. And right now, like, they have 2 minutes until the next Inferno, which is probably gonna be enough for almost everyone to have their mythic on either team. As you can see, like, Hecarim is just like 1,000 gold short. And everyone on the side of Blue Moon, aside from Set and Senna, also has their mythics.
Yeah, the next fight is going to be absolutely pivotal. If anything, very spicy as well. So we are definitely going to look forward to that. But meanwhile, now on the map stage, still just waiting for that objective. You can see this Divine Thunder just completed for the side of Hackroom, so a lot of power going in as well. The TP coming in from Wakasa just to get back to lane. And yeah, just major items coming across for both sides. So the next fight, Zyra is still working on her item. I believe this back will give her the, I suppose, the Leandra's Anguish that he is working on as well.
Which is really big considering you have 3 HP stackers on the side of Blue Moon right here. This is really smart optimization. And it is, like, in one hand, really smart optimization, but on the other hand, both teams are really playing into each other's hand right here with, like, Rift Makers and Divine Thunders on both sides. So, like, both of them are gonna output damage. It's all gonna depend on whether or not the Brazil cage and the subjugate from Trundle are gonna be enough for Blue Moon Badgers to like run down the front line of FireFlies before the front line can take them down.
The double root going in, the massive AoE damage on Onslaught of Shadow just to forcing out the flash, but here Hecarim maybe caught in the Brazil's cage. They want to dive on, Senna's already gone. The Corki package flies across the screen is very, very beautiful, and they taken down 2 members from the side of FireFlies. They need to disengage. The red team has to find a way out of here. The needlework's doing so much. Gwen 1 versus 4 dives onto enemy team, and here on the front side, Ollie is still looking for a lot of healing. Gwen is still surviving on the front side. So much damage coming in, taking down the Toronto. Want to get away. This is the literal 1 versus 4. How do they make that happen? I have no idea. But in the end, looking to be an even trade, 2 for 1 across the board. And on the side of FireFlies, they would be happy with that, although they just lost the Drake for this.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you put an ultimate on a basic ability. Gwen just runs the game amok. He isn't threatened by the Corki. She isn't threatened by the Senna. And Ollie just doesn't have enough damage to finish her off. And they just melee run into her while both Ollie and Shenzhen are low in HP. And yeah, and I think the most important thing here is that both teams are almost even on gold, and the Infernals are gonna be really big for both sides. And it is really important for the fact that the Doom Badgers have got it, because they need as much damage as they can. Because right now, their scaling Corki isn't fully online yet. Yes, he almost has his tier, but he hasn't finished the man immune yet. So they need as much damage as they can to stall out until the Corki goes online.
Yeah, exactly. But one very big thing, I suppose, because that fight started all so well for the side of Fireflies. You can see the Zyra hitting double stun and the full combo onto the enemy team. But the thing is, if you look at the inventory, he is still yet to complete the Leandri's Anguish, sitting on all of these little components on the last fight, even until now as well. So that's just a lot of damage missing from the mid laner compared to the Corki already have the Immortal Shield but working on the Manamune. Just, yeah, I mean, if the Zyra had that Leandri's in the back end of that fight, it could have been very, very different. But it's here, the jungler looking for a bit of a 1v1. Both tanky boys already at this point of stage. I'm not gonna find anything else. But yeah, we are definitely gonna see if this Zyra can come back up online to find some massive damage in these team fights.
Indeed, and like the thing is, right now, Kaisa is really far behind. Like she's 1-4, she's missing a lot of XP. And the thing, like Incisor right now is gonna be the main carry for like Fireflies in the next 1 or 2 team fights. And they're gonna have to really play on Sunlight, just getting a lot of poke damage in, which is gonna be really big. And he's like, you can see, like he's trying to finish as many creeps as he wants, with Ollie's edging for a pick on him.
Yeah, the set is waiting in the bush for this Zyra. Maybe a little bit too overextended as well. Decided not to go for the play. And yeah, just will be able to push out these waves and just hopefully finish her first item even before the next team fight comes. And yeah, I mean, just around the map, Fireflies are finding themselves in a little bit of a deficit, even though they are in a gold lead. And this comp, I mean, like the last team fight, the Blue Moon Badgers are finding some good picks, are finding some good coordinations across the map. So we are gonna see perhaps at this next Drake fight will be another point of contention. We will be seeing these team fights and how they are gonna work out into both teams' favor.
And Leandri has been completed by the Zyra, which is gonna be really important. Like for her to stand up to someone like Ollie in a situation like this, or to like fight in the Dragon Pit or around like tight areas like river and jungle. And in the same way, like look at Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser has identified he needs solo XP, and he's just sitting in top lane. And he's been able to like stand there comfortably against Incisor, which is really big for Blue Moon Badgers. They're spreading out their team really well. The only thing that is just a little bit, like, I would say worrying is the fact that Stronger can be forced out if Fireflies want to really pull the trigger on him. But so far, they don't seem to be willing to do that.
Yeah, again, I think at the last fight as well, Senna was the first one just to drop. As meanwhile, we're talking about drop. There is no way for the Zyra to go. 2 big Chungus champions piling on her, and there's no way for the mid laner to go. Again, a little bit overextended without too much. They have visions in the river, but somehow I suppose the Toronto was able to sneak past all of that. And yeah, such a champion without a bot tier 1 pushing around the river, you have to be expecting that to happen at some point of the game. So a bit of an overextension coming out from Sunlight.
Yeah, it is true, but you can see the amount of damage that Sunlight was able to output. Both of them were like on 1/3 of their health bars.
True
And
as
the
well.
important part is that Sunlight will be back in time for the Inferno, but he will be missing his ultimate, which is really important for like zone control and zone denial against Blue Moon Badgers. And like you can see that there are really important breakpoints right here. Like Kaisa has been able to hit level 2 to have level 2 Killer Instinct, but the only person who doesn't have rank 2 ultimate is the Nautilus. And there is a package on the side of the Corki.
Yeah, so again, the classic 5v5 tension is high up in the air as both team trying to get into the river, throwing out a bit of a poke. Zyra, so much damage. You can see Trundle not really having half of his health bar even, just have to have some fruit to get back up. The poke coming in from Corki as well is not to be neglected as both team here just staring dead into each other's eyes, looking for the poke, looking for the setup.
And you can see like they're both fighting poke on each other, and there is a really good angle for the Blue Moon.
But here comes the package, here comes the Onslaught of Shadow, dives in, flashes out Corki over the wall, putting out some damage, but here comes the Dawning Shadows, absolutely beautiful. The Dania's gonna keep the Gwen alive, but here the 5-man onto her, the shutdown going over to Ollie, doesn't stand a chance, and 3 members die in an instant on the side of FireFlies as the 3rd Infernal Drake is gonna go over to the side of Blue Moon Badgers.
And that is really important. The ultimate of Aurora right there, like, almost saved it. Like, you can see Stronger was just about to be put down by Xanthroid on the Hecarim, but he just, like, put him out. And Xanthroid is being chased right now. And he got
stuck. They want to find more rooted up. The Blast Cone does not deliver him to safety and bites him down, eats him alive. You don't really want to find that trench line all the way to 3 members of the enemy team, but yeah, just disaster strike for the side of Firefly. That you have to feel like was the breaking point for them. Not only they lost the Drake soul point over to the side of the enemy team, they lost the team fight. You can see the Baron is on a menu and the rest of the member is still converging this down to half health, down to 5,000 HP, 4,000 HP, and this is getting melted. The rest of the team are nowhere to be found, and no Miracle Void Seeker is gonna be found, and the blue team, the Blue Moon Badger, secures himself the Purple Worm.
And all of this was started by a beautiful angle that Ollie and Chenzen were able to wrap around. And this is one of the really important things about when the map turns into an Infernal Soul. Like the openings on the blue buff walls and the red buff walls, they really enable a lot of angles for like bruisers like the Gwen, like the Set, like the Trundle, like the Mordekaiser, to be able to flank and to be able to get in and out of vision and to like limit the weakness of theirs of having really low mobility, which they've been doing really well.
Yeah, just team fight execution across the board has been so crisp and clean for the side of Blue Moon Badger. Definitely a new look as here looking for the 1v1, sending her all the way back to Brazil, but Gwen is so strong at this point still, using the needlework, and the Mordekaiser here locked inside himself, just want to get away. Gwen probably expecting someone else to come onto the top lane, so not really chasing up on that. Corki is within striking distance with the package, but yeah, the 1v1 not exactly going to the side of Mordekaiser as he would expect it. But top side with the Baron buff, with all lanes, are still just exerting pressure on the side of Fireflies.
Indeed, but the most important part of all of this is there's a lot of side minions that Sunlight is catching and nobody else is. Like, yeah, right now Ollie is finally moving in, but he'll like miss a handful of minions and a lot of XP is being missed on either side. But yeah, Gwen is just really big. She has 2.5 items right now with the Seekers, which is really strong against most of the comp of like Blue Moon. But yeah, you can see like a lot of important item completions are almost there. Like Essence Reaper is halfway done for Corki. A Thornmail is coming in for Mordekaiser. But it is gonna be really important for a lot of members to get to their item breakpoint just before the next Infernal.
Exactly here. Mordekaiser want to go touch the turret for a little bit, and an absolute denial coming out from the Gwen. Will be taken down regardless with the Baron buff and power minions here on the top side. So we're still looking how Blue Moon Badger is going to make use of their Baron and power buffs. And here just looking for a bit of a fight in the enemy jungle, moving in and establish some visions, denying flashes instantly from Sunlight just to get away. This set at this point is very, very scary. 4-2-1, 150 gold bounty on his head. 2 items completed as well. It will be just a massive frontline and damage dealer out at the same time here for the side of Blue Moon Badgers.
Yeah, and you can see like Goranite is almost biting too much. Xanthroid is catching him and he's taking him to Brazil.
Yeah, the Brazil cage coming in. The cavalry is arriving from the TP. The Hecarim is promptly losing out this, but flashes forward, Phase Breaker goes in, and the killing spree on the side of Set goes for the Showstopper as well. Does not give a damn about a turret and takes down Grim where he stands. You might be strong, but not strong enough. It's 2 quick kills for the side of Blue Moon on the top side, solidifies their position as the tier 2 on the top side will fall as well.
And that was really well played from the side of Blue Moons. They just abused the fact that they have DP. They pulled the trigger. Like, the Mordekaiser bought time with his Shadow Realm, and right now they have a man advantage, and they're gonna like make sure that like they're pushing the lead they have from Baron, and it's almost a 6k gold, and it's gonna be shrunk a little bit because Fireflies are gonna get the mid tier 1. But as you can see, like 5 seconds to Infernal. Sure, Fireflies are gonna be there first, but there's a lot of item completions that are done on the side of Blue Moons that is not on the side of the Fireflies.
Yeah, this is a little slowly but surely snowballing away from the side of Fireflies. Blinking to misses. Suddenly, all of a sudden, the gold lead was very, very significant. This is going to be the very uphill battle they have to fight against. They want to move into this pit, but there is no way they can actually go for this. Another Miracle Steal that's secured by the Set as the fight breaks out. The package goes in, and Zara is melted where she's then. The Killer Instinct just to get away, but flashes over the wall. Every single one piles onto the AD carry, and it is blood everywhere as the river runs red. Blue Moon Badgers cleans up, secures the soul for themselves, and 3 more kills going under their names.
Yeah, and that soul pretty much like all but ensures the game to the side of the Blue Moons. Because right now everybody's like gonna output a lot of damage. Everybody have a lot of damage, and because they have 3 Infernals, and as you can see, like they just want to take inhibitors. They just want to run around. They want to expose the map. They want to try to find angles for Ollie and Jensen. Like find the pillar, or like let the Senna and Corki like poke them down. And like as you can see, like Incisor and Xantor, they're not having a fun time this game at all.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the summoner spell just turned up, but you can see the TP is up and available for Incisor, and he was staying on the top lane. He looked at what is happening in the Drake pit, and he said, nope, I have no business to do with that. So yeah, just farming up a little bit, making sure, again, just funnel some gold into herself, maybe just looking for a miracle play, a miracle carry. We all know how strong the champion is in these skirmishes. But again, now almost 10k gold lead for the side of Blue Moon Badgers as they are converging onto this Baron. They are so confident in taking these 5v5s, any kinds of fights around the map, they are confident in taking. So yeah, and just marching towards the enemy base, this is looking all dire straits for the side of Fireflies now.
Indeed, and you can see there, both sides are posturing for the Baron. They know that this is a desperation play from the side of the Fireflies. They know that if the Fireflies does nothing, they're gonna roll over and die, and they're trying to pull them in.
Zentra want to get in. Can they still look for a miracle play? The ward, they have the vision over again.
They stole him!
Nasher, not again. The Hecarim is absolutely beautiful as the fighting shoes here on the front side will be taken down. Corky's already dead, but Kai'Sa want to do much, but not a lot. Danya will be keeping Sunlight alive, but here, sweeping the floor where they stand. They have 2 members still left and remaining. Versus for the TP coming in. You have to think this is the end of it. The Baron and Power Minion will be stopping this push for a little bit as 2 members here just want to clear out the waves as well. Can they do it? Can they make the last stand? Hecarim steps forward, but here the rest of the team coming in. A lot of damage still up and available, and Hecarim is being focused down, gunned down, facing black and white screen. As here, Blue Moon Badgers, excuse me, they lost the Baron, but it doesn't really matter in the end of the day as they take game 2 to even up the series.
They stole the Baron, but it was not enough because they pulled the trigger even after stealing the Baron, and the Kai'Sa just got instantly popped. They didn't have enough to do.
I mean,
you know, like they had to pull back, but they did not because they pulled in, and suddenly everybody is dead because Infernal Soul is too strong, I guess.
Again, I think we've been talking about this game 1 as well. Just both very, very clutch, big time steals coming out from Zentroid on this Hecarim. The man does this for a living. But again, the rest of the team sort of followed up, and you would need to just betray your jungler in that situation. He got the Drake, and that's the glorious mission. Let him face the black and white screen so that the rest of the team with 4 Baron buffs can live on to fight another day. But in the end of the day, it was a beautiful, beautiful game. We just witnessed a lot of fight back and forth. Blue Moon Badgers was able to snowball their lead into these late game dominances. But yeah, again, a lot of thinking to do in the locker room as we take it back into the decisive game 3. We gotta see how both teams are gonna adjust to this most recent game.
And it's gonna be really interesting because now both teams have tried. Well, at least Blue Moon have tried a different approach of like going a little bit more bruisery than they did in game 1. And they tried to deny the enchanters. And while the Zyra was the highest damage in that game, that didn't enable everyone because like you can see like the Kaisa was on 9k damage, the Hecarim was on 8k damage. That was nowhere near enough to take down the side of Blue Moons in that game. And it's really gonna like build up to some insecurities that if they get over, they can have a good game 3, but right now they're piling in, and that could lead to some shaky performance in game 3, and I would really hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, if you are on the side of Fireflies, do reflect, do take some lessons from this game, but more importantly, this is a dominant and sure certain victory for the side of Blue Moon Badger. So you want to go into the next game without any of that mental burden, knowing that it can still do it, knowing that every single player, especially relying on your star players. We saw Incisor carrying the team game and game again. So you want to go into that game 3 with a clear, just reset mindset, not affected by any kinds of win or losses you've accumulated. Playing the best game you can, communicate well with each other, trusting in your teammates. And yeah, this game 3, we are in for a treat on our way to a collision course, and we will be very excited to see how that play out.
We will be, but right after this 5-minute break.
See you soon. Right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for still sticking with us, I suppose, depending on where you are around the world. It is getting quite late, the sun is setting, but we are still here, sticking up for the final game in this series. We went to the full length of this BO3, and the last game is gonna be an absolute just fest for a treat for all of us. As we see two teams, very, very close games, both of them similar levels, competitiveness we all seen. And this final game, we believe both of the teams gonna give us their absolute best and compete to take over this series to improve their standings in general as well. So yeah, we are very, very excited to dive back into the action.
It's gonna be really interesting to see both teams. Like a lot of factors put into like game three of a BO3. Like now you even have more picks that you have to be wary of on both sides. You have the fact that some people like get some like strain, like physically, mentally, like a psychological effect. Like how like Incissor was able to run over Ollie in game one, quite like
Yeah.
barely, but Ollie was able to like claw that back in game two and like take over the lane. And then like you have the fact that Senna is becoming more and more of a threat the whole time. You have the risk of another ban.
Yeah,
And like it's gonna be really interesting to see like if both teams are gonna like survive this.
Yeah, some key picks, I suppose, that sort of got carried over the two games on the side of on the side of Blue Moon's Badgers. Suppose there is the center pick of they've managed to got that for both of the games to varying success. The second game it was quite pivotal, was able to put out quite a lot of damage as well. Another key pick for the side of Fireflies is this Hecarim as well. Decided to run it back again, varying degrees of success. The Kaisa on the Fireflies as well. So we will be seeing if they want to still keep going on for this. If this is the comfort pick for these players, or do they want to switch it up again? They are not letting the Vladimir through. Vanderful, perhaps very respected champion as well, getting banned every single the first ban as well, just very targeted towards the enemy mid laner here.
Yeah, and as well, like you can see Sunlight is always off his Seraphine. They know that like these picks are really important, and you can see like the Swain has been really sent by Agora lately in solo queue. Like they're still taking care of all of the comfort picks and bans. But then the phase two is gonna be the interesting one because then you'll have some solo inside, and here comes the Senna.
As well
So
coming
that leaves other openings. Now you have the Viego available. They can ban. Now you have the Gwen. You have the Hecarim.
Yeah, this time betting the taking the Mordekaiser for themselves this time. The Brazil sort of trip last time wasn't really particularly pleasant, and just as a support as well, the dark technology hitting them a little bit off guard. You can just simply ult the AD carry and making every gank look so easy. So yeah, decided they do not want to deal with that, and taking that away from them, the Nocturne is going to be locked in as well for a side of Blue Moon Badgers.
And the Nocturne is really good because he can be flexed in 3 lanes, technically. He can be mid, top, and jungle. And that is really good because that means as you are red side, you can preserve one of your solo laners as the counter pick in the last like half. And like you can see, they're playing Thresh. And that means that maybe they're gonna go for a more immobile AD carry that's gonna be bailed out by the Lantern. And you have openings for stuff like the Aphelios, like the Caitlyn, and things and like hyper carries that are like kind of immobile of that sense. Like Thresh is really good with them.
Yeah, I mean, just a very, very versatile pick in general. Zyra, maybe they want to run back the mid lane pick here. Not really the most impactful champion as we've seen as the last game, but maybe just a comfort pick coming out from Sunlight was able to deal massive AoE damage in team fights as well, as the Varus will be locked in going over to the bot lane. So very strong champions as well, seeing very, very popular cross pro play. And yeah, a lot of poke. The piercing era is gonna be very, very potent in these sort of skirmishes as well as the Ash will be locked in answer.
Yeah, and Zyra Varus is one of the most oppressive lanes in the game. Like I would say only seconded by Zyra Ash. That is taken away to Agora Knight. And that is gonna be really interesting to see. Like, are they gonna like go for more globals? Because right now they have the Paranoia and they have the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which can indicate that they like probably are gonna play for like picks, for ultimate picks. That they're gonna go like try to find openings and skirmishes and 2v2s that they can easily influence by like a cross map Ash Arrow or a Paranoia that can send you anywhere on the map. And that is a really interesting dynamic against two champions like Zyra and Varus that probably like they lack any kind of mobility, and the only appeal that the bot lane has as a whole is the vines of Zyra.
Yeah, some fresh bands coming out as well. The Hack Room to sort of take that away. Not gonna see that for the consecutive third game here, but the Zac band coming out as well, targeting the jungler's Android here. The both bands drawing here, just you can see probably a pivotal point for the team as a player as well. And yeah, the game playing and the Gnar focusing on the top lane, taking away all these champions as well as the Kale will be locked in. So it could be going to the mid lane, could be going to the top lane. They have still flexibilities remaining for their last pick.
And you could even be like wacky enough and just like put it in. I mean, I would say put it in support, but Thresh is already there. But
Yes.
you can be wacky enough to like put the Nocturne in the jungle, and then you would have like another open solo lane to put a counter pick in.
The Sejuani in the jungle as well. The perfect tank, engage, just a blue collar champion everyone loves. And yeah, the last pick coming out from FireFlies here will be very, very interesting. Now they're hovering the Any, and they would be looking for, and indeed, this is actually the mid laner. So the Zyra will be going over to the support position. You get, again, like you said, very, very oppressive lane. Varus and Zyra. And Ari here, maybe, I think, is just a comfort champion for Sunlight as well. I think that's his most played champion, if not the second most. So definitely see how he's going to be piloting this not so popular, not so meta champion that is Ari.
And Galio is one of the best counters to Ari as a whole, and it's been logged in. And that is the power of the R5 rotation right there. And now you can see, like, he's gonna take. I think Nocturne is gonna be taken to the jungle. And now they have a lot of really powerful like cross map ultimates. You have the leap from Galio, you have the paranoia from the Nocturne, you have the crystal arrow from Ash, and the comp on the side of Fireflies is really like mid to short ranges. Like there isn't really any long range poke aside from the Varus that's gonna try to soften them up. So when an eventual charm lands or when a Sejuani ult lands on someone, that is gonna be like, oh, like is he low enough to the point where like the Ari combo is gonna be lethal? And that is the angle that they're playing at, but that is gonna be really hard against Nocturne with his spell shield. Kale ultimate that can like just completely like stop that. Galio has his shield and he has his taunt that does a lot of like reduced magic damage. And he has a lot of incentive to build MR because Mordekaiser deals AP, Sejuani deals AP, Ari deals AP, Zyra deals AP. There's a lot of incentive for like Kale, for example, to just rush Wit's End in this game, especially in the matchup against Mordekaiser. So like it is really scary the amount of AP the Fireflies have. But the theoretical side of it is that they will have lanes that are really strong because Mordecai is really good in the Kale, unless Ollie is really proficient in the Kale and know like how to get like the last hits that he needs and how to survive and how to stay on good HP values. But that will be like the deciding factor, like because you have like really good side lanes from Fireflies, but a really neutralized mid lane, which is gonna mean that like the game is gonna be really static from the mid jungle side until level 6 in both teams, where suddenly Ari have her ultimate to like enable her to like have mobility and like try to do anything, and Gali is gonna have his ultimate. On the other side, you see like Nocturne ultimate is a really big go button. Galio ultimate is a really big go button. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is a really big go button. You have two immobile carries in the form of Varus and Zyra. on the side of Fireflies.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of when you look at the comms, I suppose there was more like a general sort of theme on the side of Blue Moon Badgers than the Fireflies. I mean, the Galio, you said it, the Nocturne dives in with a Paranoia, the heroic entrance on top of it is going to be a very, very good combo, creating some room for the Ash, for the Kale on a backline, just dealing DPS as well. And yeah, it's interesting to see this Nocturne sort of back into the jungle as well, because I think it did get nerfed on Rhythm patch for its solo lane abilities in terms of I think the passive the AoE damage onto the minions are nerfed, so he cannot push out the minion waves that much easier. But I think that again, this is a few patches ago with the Stride Breaker being changed. This is an absolute boost to his sort of general ability as a champion, giving him a lot of good stats that is just Nocturne would really favor. So again, back into the jungle will be able to affect a lot of lanes going forward playing. And we were definitely going to see how they're going to, once they reach the level 6 mark around the map, how are they going to make proactive plays happen? Because for the side of Blue Moon Badgers, this is they have all the go buttons they need. And for Fireflies, they would really want to answer these plays very, very well.
Yeah, and it will all just come down to the fact whether the lanings are gonna be dominated enough on the side of Fireflies or not, because that is gonna be the most important part. If you don't have that, like if the lanes are salvaged, especially like the Kale lane, because Kale is a ticking time bomb. Because once Kale reached 16, suddenly she's like higher range than the Mordekaiser, and he can never reach her. And the same thing for like the Sejuani and the Zyra, and that is really scary when like Kale gets to that point.
Yeah, you don't really have any kinds of with the ultimate as well. You don't suppose there's any kinds of too consistent DPS to deal with this KO neither. Whereas you need to find a piercing arrow sort of in between CD as well. And yeah, when it hits the level 16 point, this is gonna be very, very favored for the side of Blue Moon Badgers. And yeah, just I think the chat was saying as well, get ready for another draft gap. We're not exactly sure has that happened yet, as we are loading onto the Summoner's Rift, but we will find out if the comps are very, very gapped very, very soon.
And there is a really big detail here. Varus is going lethal tempo. That means that he probably will go on hit. And on hit Varus, especially in this current scenario, is really big for the side of both teams. Like now, instead of having a poke mage trying to soften them up, you have a source of DPS that you can rely upon. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, let me just move back as well. Wait a minute. Sorry about this. I'm not really... Okay, I'm at 10 now. Go. Right, as we are loading onto the Summoner's Rift, both team again. Running a bit back, not too much shenanigans. You can see the ping coming out here as well. Maybe we will be looking for some early game action.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, onto a collision course. 5-man party on the bottom side river.
On either end, that is the game 3 fiasco. Are they gonna meet each other somewhere?
Yeah, no, I mean, perfectly avoiding each other in these counter invades, so it is very hard to tell what's gonna happen. But yeah, both teams here 5-man strong walking towards. So who do you favor for level 1? Just absolute fist fight.
It all depends on like perfect lineups and whatnot, but I would favor Fireflies.
Ooh, yeah, I can see they're stacking up into the bush. This is gonna be very, very spicy. Ari sort of shows turning around the corner. This is going to be an absolute fist fight. Charm already hitting on. The front side is tanking up. The first blood already going over to the side of Nocturne. But a beautiful 4-man ton found up as well. So the return kill coming in for the side of Fireflies. A lot of people dying in the progress. But this is going to be 2 kill actually going forward to the side of Blue Moons.
And like 2 kills are really important. They're both on the Ash. that needs as much gold and like value as she can to like salvage the lane because it's gonna be really tough for her. And the other one is on Nocturne that needs to accelerate to 6 to get his Stride Breaker. Because if he gets to the Stride Breaker breakpoint before other people get to their mythics, he's just gonna like pop out and get a kill. Pop out and get a kill. And there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, just level 6, finding a taunt as well in the mid lane. But yeah, level 6 Nocturne, even though I suppose if you're not finding any kills, just applies so much pressure as a side laner, especially when you're Zyra. And here, top lane 1v1. Yeah, again, like we talked about, especially your Zyra virus, you just cannot push up very, very far into the lane because there's always that threat of a Nocturne just closing up the lights and jump onto you anytime he wants. So yeah, we'll be seeing how this Nocturne will be navigating these early games. As top side, level 2 versus level 1. Finding a bit of a trade here in between Incisor and Ollie.
Yeah, and as you can see, like mid lane is being completely neutralized. The only lane that is really dangerous right now is top lane. Ollie is in such an exposed situation. Like the saving grace for him and the Sejuani clear is super slow. So he's not in like danger of being like dove at wave 4. But like at any moment, he like if he overextends any moment between like level 2 to like level 8 or 9, he's like really in danger.
Yeah, finding the pool, a lot of these skill shots hitting right on the mark from Incisor. You can see just the star player as we've seen from the previous 2 games. Still maintaining a lead here on the top side. Both jungler converging onto the top side. River want to look for the crab, which Galio is first on the move, but here Incisor is moving down as well, having a prio. This is going to be a very explosive fight in the river. 3 men's converging, having a numbers advantage, though. We'll be just giving the crab over to the side of Dane Choi. We'll be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you can't fight a fight with Kale in a 3v3 in the early game. It's just, like, losable. It's insta-losable. Because Kale, like, she does have the damage to, like, keep up with the damage output that the Mordekaiser does, but she's just too squishy early on. And as you can see, like, Zentroid is probably gonna, like, try to find an angle on Ollie. And mid lane is just going really well for the side of Blue Moons right here.
Yeah, Vaniful finding the full combo onto the Zari. Not really having anything in return as well. But yeah, on the bot side, maybe looking for a play, will be decided against it. And just, yeah, this bot lane, Zyra, Varus finding these trades as well from here and there as both junglers here. Still hanging around, making plays around the map.
Yeah, and like you can see, like bot lane Ash's mana is like half a tag.
You must feel very bad about that. Mid lane is turning into an action, but here the bot lane 2v2 is breaking out. Flashes forward, Ignite taking down, still have the Vision in the bush. And Stronger here takes down the kill. The bot lane 2v2 not going exactly how they wanted it. The death sentence is absolutely crucial, connecting back there. That's the top lane here. Just very oppressive, but yeah, like we said, turning this around, we said this is gonna be an advantageous sort of 2v2 over to the side of Varus and Zyra, but they managed to lose their life here in the early game.
Yeah, and Stronger managed to sneak into the hook and find a hook that is just between the melees and the casters, and Boyka just didn't expect that one to like swerve in there, and he got caught off, and when you get caught off in that situation, you're just doomed. And like there is no response. He doesn't have cleanse, he have heal. So once the hook lands, the hook play combo with the Ash slow, you just stuck there and you're dead.
Yeah, I mean this
really
is
good execution.
It's probably why this Thrash Pig was banned out a bit earlier in these games, because he is looking for mid roam, flashes forward, doesn't really find that sentence. So Ari here just walking calmly out of the way. As Sejuani here almost dying, just want to take his jungle camp as well. If not, we'll be certainly forced out of that. But yeah, here finding a lot of tempo, finding the Drake, finding the kills. Here for the side of the Blue Moon Badgers, absolutely to a dream start here in the early game.
Yeah, and it is just really like it is almost on the break point right now for FireFlies, because the only lane that still have some relevance is Incisor. Even though he has already died, he still holds an acceptable advantage over the Kale. And if he ever gets her like in the realm of death, she's still dead, regardless. But yeah, bot lane isn't going as well as they hope they would be. Even though right now they're like kinda are doing well, but that kill really set them back.
Yeah, still just maintaining, being left on an island. I suppose both of these top laners just maintaining a healthy CS lead. Not too much at the moment, I suppose, but yeah, just still working their way through as the rest of the team is making these plays around the map. And again, the bot lane here being the focal point, he's still maintaining some pressures, but that 2v2 kill turned into the dragon, into the mid lane pressure really hurts the FireFlies a lot, as they hopefully will be able to recover from this. As the Swanee here looking for a topside play, finds the kill, finds the slow, but not gonna be enough. The stun under the turret will be just walking his way out of here. Ollie not really have to spend any summer spells or the ultimate, so still will be staying alive for a little bit here.
Yeah, Android doesn't have his ultimate quite just yet. If he did have that, that would have been really dangerous for Ollie. Maybe he'd have to both burn his ultimate and his flash, but he doesn't. And you can see like even the Galio is trying to like find an angle for like a bot lane play. And like the thing is, Incisor is the one that's having all the attention, but Sejuani is really falling behind. She's 3 cams behind to the Nocturne, who's just gonna super clear everything. He's gonna take the scuttle, and they're gonna.
This is gonna be a lot of blood happening. Everyone going on to the bot lane. This is the 4-man party. Ali is not even needed. Cheering up from all the way river, but a double kill going over to the side of Ashe. Stronger misses no hooks on this Fresh. This is why his pick is so terrifying for him. And in a decisive game 3, it is absolutely making everything work for his team.
And that is the power of just Thresh. Like, he had the Lantern to bail Ashe out at any time, and he was able to land a very crucial hook that enabled the Nocturne to just pull the Go Trigger, and they're pulling the Go Trigger again.
The heroic chance going in will be able to secure the red buff, I suppose. Still want to dive forward, but the Lantern here will be able to secure everyone out. Still want to wait for the Blast Cone, but here Ari maybe a little bit caught out, finding a 1v1 against the Galio. Flashes into the rest of the enemy team. You have to feel bad about that. So losing his life, going a little bit too overextended in the enemy jungle as the rest of the team arrives. So yeah, 1 kill going back over to the side of FireFlies, finding the Brazil cage onto the top side as well. Incisor keeps no prisoner. Can he do this? Can he find the kill onto Ollie? Still holding on to the ultimate as well. Flashes out of that ultimate. Eskier in mid lane flashes forward, want to find the kill as well. Scrawny arrives just to keep his mid laner alive. Absolutely clutch coming in. Stun coming out. It's not gonna have enough damage here. Another death sentence goes in. What is this? Is this Core JJ playing this game? Eskier top side will be taking down as there's blood in action every single where on the map. We do not catch a stop, but it's Ton falling onto Sejuani, not gonna find anything. But here, traded kill across the map for both team. Top laner for the bot laner here. Again, it's Stronger making plays and Incisor answering back.
Yeah, and Stronger isn't missing a beat. Every single hook, he manages to find the angles where he just sits in the brush, or try to find an angle between 2 minions, or just when a minion dies. And this is really clean Thresh play. And on the other side, Incensor knows he needs to do something. He needs to put the KO behind. He needs to get himself ahead. So in the next dragon fight, he's there and he's ready to put some influence in, and that is what he just did right there. He found the Shadow Realm. He put the dent on Ollie, and then he found another advantage where he can just pressure Ollie with his wave manipulation by putting the wave backwards. And then Ollie died without expending his ultimate because he knew he was dead, even though he already flashed earlier after the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, it was a pretty much of a curious play coming out from Ollie, because Ollie was definitely on his way out of there, but somehow getting killed at the back end of that. And you can see just the spreading out of the vision as well for the side of Blue Moon Badgers. They are playing very, very heavily towards this bot side. You can see the river lit up by the red wards. And yeah, the Galio is constantly hovering to this side of the map, excuse me. The Nocturne is there as well. They are looking for the second Drake of the game as well. This is gonna be the 4v4 converging onto the bot side. It's down to 1,000 health. This Cloud Soul will be able to take down, but here the stun going onto the Nocturne will be keeping himself alive, but the ultimate coming out from Zyra has a lot of damage to Ignite, taking down 2 quick kills, going over to the side of FireFlies as the turbo turns against the side of Blue Moon Badgers here. Want to go in as well. The Ari will be able to survive, but it's not so for the Galio. 1v1 still on the top side. Sejuani against Ashe. Not going to be able to find it. And here on the top side, still 1-for-1, but the rest of the map is absolutely falling apart, this time for the Blue Moon Badgers.
Yeah, and you can see, like, FireFlies knew that they had to do something. They knew that they couldn't fight at the dragon, but they also knew, like, if we wait our moment, and if we, like, just wait, no, triggers the
here comes the paranoia going in, has no fear, want to keep the Zyra alive, but just walking her short legs out of there, has no mobility whatsoever, and even the Varus not keep herself alive, doesn't really have the chain of corruption. And easy kill coming in. That's just another day at the war for this Nocturne. So much damage and so much just dive potential onto these immobile carries.
Yeah, and that was the paranoia that he didn't pull out in the fight because he was perma-CC'd by Xandroid.
Yeah, that's true.
That came there. That came as a retaliation. They knew that the Galio didn't have his hero's entrance, so they just abused the fact. They tried to burst the Nocturne instantly, and they did. And that was also a beautiful Stranglethorn from the Zyra. Just zoning out the Thresh, zoning out the Galio. Meanwhile, Incisor is just keeping the Kayle there. Kayle is still 20 CS behind, but that is a good advantage when you are like a Kayle and you're almost ramping up to your power spike, and there's a skirmish going on.
We are looking for the 2v2 here on the top side. You don't really want to take this, but here, want to lock down the Nocturne as well. We'll be able to use the ultimate just to keep himself alive, but here, bonk down on his turret. The Brazil cage coming out as well. You want to look for something more. He want to look for blood. A Kayle on the turret, not really the target he can go for. Doesn't really have the ultimate, but still staying alive, using a bit of a heal as well. Maybe they don't want to go for the dive as well. Strwani still sticking around. Go for it, finds the knockup. Not a lot of damage here. 1-for-1. Zentroid finding that kill. Meanwhile, about side, 2v2 again. Surprise, surprise. Why are you guys dying over and over? This is a 6-0-3 Ashe at this moment. 500 gold on his head, and you do not want to look for these 2v2 fights.
600 gold even after that kill, and Stronger is just fighting each and every angle. You see, there's always retaliation. You find Xandroid and Incisor in the top side, suddenly Aurora and Stronger is just like, fight it back. You know, like there's always something being traded. Even though, like, you can see the gold value.
Ooh, the full combo come in, the paranoia and retaliation. Still have the ultimate, but cannot get away.
And so, as you can see, action and retaliation every single time. They're making sure that when something is taken from them, they take it back. You fight a best skirmish in the top side and Shenzhen overextends a little bit. Suddenly, like, Stronger is like, hey, this is my cue. There's no Sejuani. I'm gonna go find the hook. You find a solo kill on the Galio, paranoia is right into your face.
Yeah, I mean, oh, and we are having a pause as well. I believe the chat is saying there is a top lag, so we'll be hopefully working out that issue very, very soon as we are back into the game now.
Indeed, and as you can see, like, this is really good for the side of Blue Moon's Badgers because they're getting the Kayle to their value that she needs, and the Ashe is absolutely enormous. She has her Mythic, she has QSS, Tier 2 boots, and like I think we have a little bit of a pause.
A bit of a lag on my part as well, as we are seeing. So now it's like 1520 for me.
Yeah, 1522. Yeah,
that's very, very good. Yeah, as we are jumping back into the action, tier 1 turret here on the bot side will be taken down. And yeah, it was action all around the map. We are talking about Fiesta. This game is the epitome of that. 19 kills in 15 minutes as we are being treated to fights after fights after fights. That's exactly what we want. But again, still gold difference is very, very tiny, very, very close for both teams in this front of a game. So we want to see how are they gonna manage navigate through that mid-game era. This Ashe is an absolute monster here. China Crystal Arrow goes in, flash that sentence, leaves no prisoner, and Stronger again takes down a kill. 3-1-6. Thresh in this game, doing his best carrier impersonation in an early T1 game. But here, the fight is still going up. The corruption goes a little bit wide. The rest of the team want to disengage, but here, Death Sentence goes a little bit wide. Sejuani goes up into the room as well. Nocturne being locked up and taken down as the rest of Blue Moon want to disengage. Here comes the Gale as well, finding a taunt onto the Zyra, but Galio here will be able to walk all the way back. Flashes from the Zyra as well, just to get out of town. So the 4v4 is going for the side of Blue Moon Badgers. Another Death Sentence connects from all the way downtown. Varus has nowhere to go. Another kill going over to Stronger. Are you kidding me? This is an absolute sublime performance coming out from the support here for the side of Blue Moon Badgers, doing absolutely everything for his team.
It is an absolute masterclass of Thresh gameplay, and he's still edging for more.
Finding the taunt on Sejuani, a 300 going over to the side of the enemy team as the Drake will be going over to the side of Blue Moon Badgers, the third Drake of the game, just using the Lantern to bring their junglers in. 4-man strong on Soul Point as well. An absolute turn of event here, giving them such an advantage in this game.
And that was absolutely enormous from Stronger and Shenzhen. He just turns on a trigger, flash hook, paranoia. Here's the entrance. No holds barred. Just go in, get the pick we need, so we can secure the fight. They want to fight back? Let's go. We have the big Ash. It was a really good cleanse from Agora right there after the Glacier Prison. And they were strong. You see, this is the breakpoint. Suddenly Kale is dangerous enough that Sunlight had to flash away, and the Ashe is just in her utility zone right now. And
yeah,
I mean, really good.
It is really good. You will be smiling from year to year if you are Blue Moon Badgers right now. Again, the goal lead is still very close. But here, just everything is going to their favor. You have this infinite scaling factor that is the KO. The longer this game drags on, the longer it would be good for you. As Stronger here, maybe over a little bit extended. Still very tanky. Finds the Death Sentence onto the Aura, but here it's being focused on. The Divine Judgment is going to keep himself alive. Ash is getting focused down, walking his way out of here, still surviving, taking down Varus as everyone from the side of FireFlies is dropping. Zyra cannot get away, and it's only Ari and Sejuani surviving in the back end of that. Not losing a member for the side of Blue Moon Badger. They still want to look for this kill on a turret. They still want to look for so much more around the map.
And Stronger is just playing them. He just dodged everything right there. He's on one. He's had enough. He wants to win this game right now. He took the dodge. He juked the charm. He juked the vines. He hooked the Zyra, and they just went in. Everything thrown. And that was just absolutely beautiful from Stronger and from everyone in Blue Moon Badgers.
We gotta talk about this player Stronger. What an absolute performance! You know, early on in the week, it was T1 versus Dom 1 Kia. The third game as well, Carrier, the support for T1, is put on the Thresh, and he got 6 kills or something like that. Again, another death sentence. This man cannot catch a break. Stronger saw that game. Stronger saw Korea, and he's like, you know what? I can do that as well. This is an absolute carry performance. Call him Core JJ, call him Matt Life. The Thresh God is on the rift, and is absolute terror striking in for the side of FireFlies.
Yeah, and it's absolutely enormous, because right now, this is the very first time where there is a measurable gold lead in the game, and it's for the side of Blue Moon Badgers. It's almost a 3k lead. And you can see 3k, and you have 3 different dragons, and you are on Soul Point that is spawning in 2 minutes, and this is looking really good for you. You have Kale, who's gonna almost complete her Riftmaker by the time that the break is started. You have Nocturne, is almost gonna complete his second item. You have Thresh, that is really huge. You have the Ash, that is 7, 0, and 5. And you have all of your ultimates on good cooldowns right now. And you're just waiting, you're just waiting to smell the stench of a mistake or fear from FireFlies, and you're gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah, flashes go over. The Glacial Vision goes a little bit wide as well. Just exchange of some abilities plus the Thresh's flash. You can see Stronger is feeling himself on these engages, playing bolder and bolder, making these plays more and more proactively. But here, want to find a stun under the turret for the Desire, but here, piles onto the Galio, the Paranoia just to turn the light off, dives into the back line. Desire is no more. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is absolutely beautiful as well. The heroic entrance goes in, but here, the Brazil Cage is Nocturne against the Mordekaiser. Zania will be keeping himself alive. Flashes out of town. The TP coming in from the KO. The Death Sentence connect. Brings him all the way back in. This is the absolute fiesta. And Divine Judgment keep the mid laner alive as the Fireflies are turning this around. Shutdown going over to the side of Varus as well. KO want to do much, but he cannot do enough. 4 members still up and surviving as they score an absolute clean ace onto the enemy team.
And that was the comeback they needed.
Woo-hoo!
That was really good. There was some sort of like steps that they've done. Like, you see, they cleared the vision, so the Nocturne ult was just a little bit late. They survived long enough. They stalled the heroic entrance. They had, like, you see, like, he had the stopwatch and the Ari. That was really valuable. And then as well, inside of New Moon Badgers, there were some communication issues where you see the Galio Zonya'd instantly as the KO ulted him, and Stronger was just left for dead in that situation. And yeah, like
because it steals the Drake, this time going to the opposite direction. You do it, I can do it as well. As Jensen here dies, but with a glorious mission on his shoulder, securing the Drake. So the Infernal Soul for his team was absolutely massive, just giving them a boost of that morale as well, as they are wearing red and pumping out this damage for the rest of this game.
And that was really important. That is just a lot of time that is taken from the hands of the Fireflies. They thought, oh, we'll get this Inferno, we'll scale, we have 5 more minutes to get our item completions until they can get the soul, and just Chen is like, nah man, not this time. Not this time, I'm sorry. And that is really important, because right now you have Kale level 13. She's 3 levels away. You have you have the Ashe, who's almost in her 2nd item completion right now. And this is looking really good, especially with Inferno Soul. That just bumps up the lethal of the Nocturne so much higher. And bumps up the DPS of the Kale and the Ashe. That really, especially the Ashe needs it a lot. Because this is the stage of the game where Kale doesn't output enough damage and she isn't 16 yet. Because she doesn't have her 2nd item. But at the same time, the Ashe does output okay damage and has a lot of utility, and that bump from the Inferno Soul is really important.
Yeah, I mean, talking about for the whole game, we were talking about how this Ashe was miles ahead. But now, if you look at AD carry, 2 items completed for the Varus, 400 gold on top of his head, as they are looking at Swani very, very tanky at this point as well, not really too much mind. But yeah, like we're saying, the table has absolutely turned here on the bot side AD carries. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes in, not gonna find too much as the camera just pans away, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, now the Varus is on a similar power level, at least in terms of item, again, this Ashe. They do have the Infernal Soul, that's gonna give her a lot of boost in terms of stats. But here, very, very close game, an absolute nail biter, and everyone here, I believe, is absolutely loving it.
And it is absolutely, it will come down to who will find the angle first. Because you have the angle for the Glacial Prison, you have, of course, you never can forget the Chain of Corruption and Stranglethorn combo that can come out of anywhere. But it is always going to be like the angle, can Stronger find yet another hook? Can Shenzhen find an angle for a Paranoia Hero Entrance combo? Because if this game keeps going at this rate, Boyka's really strong, and eventually, yes, Ashe got Wit's End now, but eventually the Varus will out DPS her. And it is like a fair now, like I see, he's on 2.5 items. And Ashe is only onto her Rage Knife out of her Rage Blade that she's going for. But the important thing is you look at the Kale. The Kale is on the Riftmaker. She's on the Nashor's Tooth. She's gonna go for her 3rd item anytime soon. And she's level 14 and she's like quarter of the way through 16. And if she gets that, crucial level 16 and she gets the 3rd item, this game is gonna be a lot more harder on the Fireflies than it already is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one extra huge threat you have to deal with once this Kale reaches that point. You throw your kitchen sink at the Ash, throw your kitchen sink at the Nocturne as well. But, I mean, and with the ultimate, this Kale is going to be such a menace in these long, extended, dragged out team fights. So, it's gonna be offering a lot more value than your Mordekaiser, than your Ari. So yeah, they want to push these tempos. For the past, I think 2 minutes, there hasn't been too much happening. They are still maybe waiting for the Elder Drake to spawn to converge onto that objective. The Baron is up and alive as well. But mostly, I think both of the team here just farming up and not really looking for anything around the map, which is gotta be very, very good news for the side of Blue Moon Badgers.
Yeah, and you can see, I think that they have got the item completions now. You can see the Abyssal Mask on the Sejuani, and you can see the Blade of the Wind King in the bars, and they just started in the Baron.
Yeah,
They've seen the kill on the bottom side, and they're ready. They know that their Varus had the damage necessary.
the Hawkshot will be able to spot them out of Glacial Vision. They want to turn for this, but here already entrance goes in, place everyone alive. The Ashes down, they are able to take down the carry. The jungler in return, do they want to stay on this Drake? The Paranoia goes in, want to look for something else, but here, the Drake, fight in the Drake pit is going for the favor of Fireflies. They take down the Baron Nashor. Now, can they win the fight? Can they get themselves away? The Varus is taken down. This cow is absolutely unstoppable. Here on the backside, Mordekaiser is still fighting 1v1 against this Nocturne, but the death sentence from downtown leaves no prisoner. Zanya is keeping herself alive, but not for long, and the cow cleans everything up where they stand. Zaya is the only survivor on the enemy team, as 3 Baron buffs is still up and alive on the side of Blue Moon Badgers.
And this is a game of just steal after steal after steal. We've seen it from the first 2 games from Xanthroid. Now it's Shensen's turn. He's returning the favor. First he took the soul, and now he's taking the Baron. And that was really good from Ollie on the Kale. He just found the angle where he is far away from the Mordekaiser and the Ard. He isn't threatened about their damage, and he just instantly popped the Varus. And that was really important, because Varus is the main concern for you if you're Blue Moon Badgers right now.
Yeah, I mean, on the back end of that fight, it was absolute just a massacre, and another death sentence. Can you take a break, my man? Stronger doesn't miss these. As the rest of the team want to walk into the outer pit, still very, very healthy. But a TP coming in, the rest of the team has to follow this up, as Blue Moon Badgers here are retreating, backing out of the Baron pit, respecting the Mordekaiser power. But here, Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes in. The Paranoia focuses on the backline. There onto the Varus, there onto the Zyra. Both of them are down. Double kill going over the side of the Nocturne. And Sejuani here cannot tank on the top side. Ash is putting out so much damage here on the front side. And the Ari cannot get away. Chases her down. Has nothing left in her tank. And it is Blue Moon Badgers probably just take it again right here, right now, with test timers very, very long across the map.
Yeah, and it is really well played from the side of Blue Moon Badgers. They didn't get really antsy and said, oh, we need to instantly turn on the Incisor on his Mordekaiser when he came in. They took their time, they went back, they found the angle of the arrow and the Paranoia, and they just went in and pushed the button, and that was really good. And right now you can see they look really happy, but they're just gonna finish the game. Sunlight is nowhere near enough, and the TP is coming back in, and they're just gonna run the game.
Yeah, double buff is always so terrifying on these 5 champions to get with the Infernal Soul. They gonna shred the enemy team like butter. But here, all 5 men up and alive, making a last stand, and the Blue Moon Badgers here probably wisely decided not to overextend. The Galio is still on the way, looking for a cheesy play here. Finding the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the Heroic Interest coming in, not even needed 2 quick kills. Knocked up every single one, but not going to be enough. The Paranoia still goes forward, and the Chain of Corruption, goes up, but not going to do enough. 5 men strong, and they are knocking on the doors of Fireflies here, just waiting for the minion waves do a bit of a dance off. They know this game is theirs, surely and certainly. Here, beautiful performance coming out from Blue Moon Badgers. They were able to find these team fights. They were able to find their advantages, dragging this game into the late game. This Kale level 16, the final nail on the coffin, as they forces their way through, bulldozes over the base of Fireflies. They want to go for a last stand here going forward. Fireflies want to defend their base, but they cannot do so. Kale is onto the back line, using Divine Judgment, pops everyone who stands in her way. Just 3 autos as well. Down goes Daya, down goes anyone on the enemy team. The charm hits will be taking down Ray Boss, but here, Blue Moon Badgers come back from 1 down to take the series.
And that was just the combination of Stronger putting things through, Shenzhen getting the early advantage, the early kills that they got, and then just them playing their comp to their strength. They waited, they pushed the buttons, they went back, they know that they have both the Infernal Soul and the Elder buff, and they just waited and they got the 2 picks that they needed to close out the game.
Right, yeah. I mean, what a beautiful series. What an explosive game 3. I believe, well, for the all of the 28, 27 people that are still staying with us, you guys made an absolute wise decision. What a game that was. And we are jumping right in. I think we are having an interview with the jungler from Blue Moon Badgers, Shenzhen, and an absolute beautiful performance across the board. And we want to hear his thought and his sort of perspective on these series.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello there. GG to you, guy. GG to you, my guy.
Sorry, what?
GG to you, my guy.
Right, I mean, yeah, first of all, congrats on the win. Especially game 3, there was an absolute nail-biter, back and forth. Well, thank you guys for putting on such a show for us. How are you feeling right now?
We're feeling good. It's like our first actual win in a series, because we lost last time and first game enemy surrendered. So we're feeling pretty good.
Okay, yeah, we just wanna pop some questions. If you guys, how are you feeling? So, Demise, do you have anything on your mind you wanna ask the jungler here?
Okay, I'll just start by asking this: the setups that you have with like your wards in like the game start, like where you just like try to ward like Gromp and blue on one side and like Raptors are red on the other one. Are these like pre-made ones, or do you just like see like if you want like have like some sort of scuttle fight or like trading sides? Like what is going in your team when like you do a setup like this?
We just try to track jungler early to see where he starts and where he's maybe pathing, so we roughly know where he is. But it doesn't work out always perfect because they're covering or something like that. So we mostly just try to see where the jungler is and then work around it. But not any scuttle preference or anything.
Okay, and with that third game, that's my steal on the Infernal Soul was really huge. How did that happen to be? Like, did you just said that you're gonna go for it, or did you just find an opening with vision and you just went for it blindly?
Yeah, we were like, can we contest it? Can we not? And then everyone was like so late to respawn. Was only Strong and me. And then I was like, yeah, I'll see this. And then Elisa Agora offered to make vision with her E, and then I had like easy access to the Drake. I ulted, went in, and got it.
Yeah, speaking of Stronger, he had such an insane performance on the Thresh in the final game.
Say
Like,
next.
are there any like pre-made things with the comp, like with you on the Nocturne Galio and the Thresh?
We didn't have practiced the Thresh much in scrims because I don't know. I think Stronger doesn't enjoy it like he used to, but maybe it's coming back now. But we had for sure the Galio Nocturne combo that worked most times good. And then we tried it with Ashe now, and it worked pretty good as well with her as an engage with my ult as follow-up.
Do you have any questions, Jeff?
Right, yeah. I mean, one thing that sort of intrigues me definitely, I think throughout the series, you sort of showed us different aspects of your sort of gameplay. I think in the first game you played Viego. Some of the skirmishes are absolutely amazing, finding these resets and stuff like that. But the game in the end sort of ended up going to the favor of the Fireflies, excuse me. So the second game you sort of switched it up because for the 2 games they were playing the Hecarim jungle. So second game you decided to switch up to the Trundle, which is not, I guess, in the current meta, like not a very sort of common pick. So can you just walk us through what your thoughts are? Is that like a more like a team comp thing, or do you think this is a good pick into the Hecarim?
So that was an idea from like our sub Blame. Shout out to him because he like said Trundle should be really good if when the Trundle not Trundle Hecarim like ults into the team. So I just ultimately burst him down because
Right.
he has no armor then, and then we just continue the fight and win, and it works out most of the times. Just
Well,
like
that's one way to put it. Yeah, I mean, again, this might be not so so much of a good side for you, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, we were saying, I mean, you had your portion of just beautiful Baron steals. We in the game 3, Drake steal as well. But for the first 2 games, there were instances where Zentroid was able to snatch these objectives away from you. So I mean, I just again walk through. So were you like, what's your mentality like coming into game 3? Were you a little bit worried? Were you like, just trying to reset mentally as well against just just junglers as well, just for these objective fights?
so. I'll say from like game 1. After game 1, we were like a little bit upset with ourselves because we didn't like play perfect or how we
Right,
wanted. Then after game 2, we felt like pretty confident that we can just take it home,
right.
and our mental was like mostly pretty good. It didn't like affect us game 1 really, just maybe a little bit, but not really noticeable. We were all we we learned more from game 1.
Right. I mean, and I suppose that's another thing as well, because it was a very like in game 1. I think the draft from Fireflies has just one very clear objective: is just dive, dive, and dive. So, and it sort of worked out pretty successfully as well. In some of these fights, they were able to dive onto the Victor, onto the Senna as well. So, what's your sort of like adjustment going on to game 2? Did you guys sort of pick some champions specifically to counter these dives? Or I think Trundle, you talked about that might be one thing, but are there any sort of thing you guys are preparing, sort of like countering these dive comps?
So first of all, we banned Karma because she just gives an insane speed up for
Right.
everyone, and it's just easy to run in. Then the Mordekaiser helps with like peeling for
Right.
the Senna, just ult away and no no point of pressure from that champion. And Zed can also ult people away if needed, or he's the engage, and then they can't really reach us. And Pillar is really annoying as well.
Right. Okay. And again, I thought that was my last question, but sort of now you brought it up. Sorry for keeping you here again,
No
but
problem.
no, but like just like one thing we sort of were surprised, and we caster were like kind of confused about. You guys brought out the Mordekaiser support pick on bot lane, so I suppose. I mean, what's the sort of the thought process? Is this something that you've been practicing just the dark technology in solo queue for quite a while, or was that like a very situational thing? We want PO for Mordekaiser, and it kind of goes to support as well.
We practiced it in scrims already. It's
Right.
pretty successful because people think it's more top than bot lane. And it works out pretty good. You just either you stomp lane by getting a catch, and then you just ult whoever's the strongest and just kill him.
Yeah.
Or you get behind, you ult also the strongest person, he's out of fight. So it has a lot of advantages. Having a
Right.
Mordekaiser.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think if anyone's watching this game, they would definitely be taking notes, at least not using themselves, but preparing, just banning the Mordekaiser again, maybe in future games as well against you guys. But right. I mean, if Demise, do you still have any questions?
I don't have any question, but I was just, if you would love to make any shout outs or anything, you're welcome to, Shenzhen.
I'll just shout out my team, my our sub Blame, and our coaches, Villains and Curly. Much love to all of them. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and thanks for being with us, man. GG's
Thank you
to
for
you,
having
and
me.
good luck with your future games.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that would be it for the series. That was a really intense and close back and forth that had a really dramatic ending. And thank you for being with us and sticking with us, everyone in the chat.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, we hope to see you in. I mean, I think we still have the second match coming up, or I mean, am I wrong about that? But yeah, I mean, thank you. Regardless, thank you guys very, very much for sticking with us. We had a lot of fun. This is Jeff, and that was the mice. It's an absolute pleasure casting this game with you guys, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Goodbye.
Bye.